With that command, the field of 38 NASCAR Busch North Series cars roar to life. Today, these drivers have two primary objectives in mind. First, they want to finish this race without any major off-track excursions. And secondly, they'd like to somehow be noticed by the elite Winston Cup owners and drivers who will watch from the adjacent garage.
It was in last year's Burnham's Boiler 150 that Dale Earnhardt was so impressed by this young man, Steve Park, that he called and asked him to drive his NASCAR Busch Series car. He was so impressive in that Busch Series car that Dale Earnhardt asked, "Will you drive my car, my Winston Cup car?" Steve Park will start 12th tomorrow in the NASCAR Winston Cup Bud at the Glen. Dreams can come true.
Well, a lot of guys are hoping their dream comes true here today. Now, if you believe what you hear, the next guy that makes the move down there from up here is right there. 28-year-old Andy Santerre, who just happens to be the defending champion of this race. One win this year, fourth in points, just 37 out of the lead. Today he starts lucky 13. Oh, and where's there when he leaves here? Well, how about the Busch ride being vacated by Todd Bodine? Mike Stefanik is pursuing his dream of winning the Busch North Championship and the Modified Championship in the same season. Tonight he races in Long Island, New York. Today he starts from the pole. First on the track, but second in points. Two behind Dave Dion and looking for win number 1. Now Dion may be leading in the points, but he's chasing on the track. He qualified 22nd. 2 wins this season, but road course racing isn't his favorite thing to do. His mission, get points and get out of here. Now, here at Watkins Glen, it's not only how fast you go, sometimes it's how fast you stop. Right, Kyle Petty?
That's because pit strategy is so important here. For one reason, fuel mileage. Jeff Bodine won this race, the Winston Cup race, last year on fuel mileage. Ricky Rudd won last week in Indianapolis on fuel mileage. There's 3 distinct pit strategies that are going to happen here today. Some of these guys will run halfway, pit, put fuel in their car, and put tires on. Therefore, they're pretty fresh on tires for the last half of the race. Some of these guys are going to go all the way to the end before they stop, put on fresh tires, or maybe just gas and go. And some of these guys are going to pit early. When the first window happens, the first pit window happens about 15 to 18 laps, they're going to pit, gas, maybe tires, and hope for a late caution. And those other guys pit, they've got track position, and they've got a shot at winning the race.
ESPN, the worldwide leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today live from the picturesque Finger Lakes region of central New York, we visit the historic Watkins Glen International Raceway for the NASCAR Busch North Series Burnham Boilers 150. With just 6 events remaining after today, the points have been jumbling considerably. In fact, 5 different leaders atop the standings the last 5 races. Dave Dion holds a scant 2-point lead over Mike Stefanik. In fact, just 132 points separate the top 5, with Tommy Bowles, Bobby Dragon, Kelly Moore, Mike Olson, and Stub Fadden rounding out the top 10. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch. Glad to have you with us today. You know, if you look at the drivers who have competed here over the years at Watkins Glen, it looks like a who's who in international motorsports. Formula One guys have come here, IndyCar, NASCAR, Winston Cup, and today, some names are familiar, like Bodine and Spencer. But it's Eric Bodine and Paul Spencer. They are cousin and brother to the more well-known Winston Cup counterparts. But there are some names in the Nays field you may not recognize, but you certainly want to remember for the future.
And here are some of the NASCAR alumni from the NASCAR Busch Series North Series. In Winston Cup, Ricky Craven cut his teeth up here. NASCAR Busch Series, Joe Bessie, Steve Park, last year finished second in this race. And in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Chuck Bound and Curtis Markham.
Well, let's meet Benny, the guys that will start today. The Suzuki starting grid led by Mike Stefanik. You heard Bill mention he wants to win 2 titles in 1997. Stefanik aside Brian Wall, former SCCA national champion. He's a road racer. Back in row 2, Ted Christopher, who finished 3rd here in the modified Featherlight event here last month, and Dale Quarterly, the former Superbike AMA ace. Back in row 3, Formula One, or I should say Trans Am driver Brian Simo, alongside the first ever lady to run in Busch North competition, Kat Teasdale. Back in row 4, Bobby Dragon, a former winner here. And beside him, Jerry Marquis, a 3-time winner in 1997. And back in row 5, last year's Rookie of the Year, Brad Layton, alongside the winningest driver in Busch North Series history, Kelly Moore.
Back in row 6, we find Jimmy Spencer's little brother, Paul Spencer, alongside Jeff Berry. In row 7, Andy Santerre, that Bill Weber was just talking about, and Rick Bell. Back in row 8, Brad Bennett, and Eric Bodine, the cousin of the Bodines, Winston Cup Bodines. Back in row 9, Russ Brown, and Lou Rettenmeyer. In row 10, Brett Rubinek and Mike Olson.
All right, back in row 11, Martin Truex alongside. There's the current series point leader and last year's champion, Dave Dion. Back in row 11, Scott DeWare and John Preston, side by side. Row 12, leading Rookie of the Year candidate, Tracy Gordon and Dennis DeMoore out of Shelburne, Vermont. Back in row 13. Back in row 14, there is Stubb Fadden, 63 years of age. He'll be 64 come October, and three-time series champion, Jamie Obey. Back in row 15, there's Tommy Bowles in the car number 76. Alongside him is Kim Baker, former SCCA Corvette Challenge road racer. Back in row 16, car number 37, that is Al Chapman and Bob Brunel. Row 17, the car number 28, Billy Penfold, and Stu Jones making his very first start in a stock car. And back in row 18, the provisional starters, car number 30, Dennis Doyle, and the car number 26, Herb Drug. And row 19, car number 05, that's Brio, alongside the car number 42 of Tom Carey. We'll come back with a wave of the green flag for 62 laps of exciting Busch North action, the Burnham Boilers 150 from Watkins Glen International when we come back.
Suzuki Katana riders have a single-minded focus. They love all things twisty. The tighter the curve, the better. In fact, sometimes they take this obsession a little too far.
3 root beers, please.
You guys want straws with those?
No, thanks. We got our own.
The Suzuki Katana, get off the straight and narrow.
It's the greatest spectacle in off-road racing, the granddaddy of them all, the legendary Baja 1000. Mile after grueling mile of relentless terrain that can shake the fillings out of a driver's teeth and beat a truck to death. That's why more drivers who challenge the Baja rely on the Duralast battery than any other. The same Duralast you can rely on in your car, because it's the one we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
Since the Hendrick Racing Team started using Quaker State, they finished 1-2 in the 96 Winston Cup standings. Finished 1-2-3 this year at Daytona, which makes you wonder, is it in their blood or in their engines? Quaker State, the quality your car deserves.
You could win $100,000 if Jeff Gordon wins the Winston Million. See store for details.
A precinct full of corrupt New York cops has taken money from the mob.
Do you have any idea how connected he is?
And set up a town where they make the laws.
Freeze! Police!
But now, a small-town sheriff and a big city investigator are teaming up to take them on. Who do you think you are? Copland, rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
Speed Road coverage of the NASCAR Busch Grand National North Series Burnham Boilers 150 from historic Watkins Glen International Raceway is being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. By the more than 1,625 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Quaker State, the quality your car deserves. NASCAR Busch North Series cars, what are they? We'll show you. They're basically very similar in a lot of ways to the Busch Grand National South cars, Benny. The wheelbase is the same. They're American-made steel-body production sedans. Last 3-year models, 9.5 to 1 compression. They do allow some V6s and a single 390 4-barrel carburetor. But, Benny, there are some differences.
Well, there sure are some differences. If we'll... We see they use McCreary bias ply tires. All the cars have McCreary tires. Roof flaps are optional, not mandatory. They can use a V6 engine, and they weigh 200 pounds less than their big brothers down south.
All right, 38 cars getting set for green. Very, very critical race. We showed you the point standings. Just 6 events remain after today. Mike Stefanik just 2 points behind Dave Dion. Stefanik on the pole. Dion starts way back outside the top 20, back in 21st position.
Dave Dion will start 21st. That's correct. Stefanik on the pole. And there we see Stefanik.
There's Stefanik in the
on
car
the left side of the screen. The right side is Brian Wall. There's Ted Christopher starting back in the 3rd spot as he looks up towards the, and there's the outside pole sitter, Brian Wall.
Pace car is pulled away, getting set to wave the green flag. Don Horvath waves the green, so we're underway at Watkins Glen.
And Stefanik, oh, some contact already with Brian. And the 32 car Corley gets tapped by Brian Wall. Around he goes. He will have to start shotgun on the field. There's a car going through the absolute dirt.
And Ted Christopher had a problem on the start of the Les Care's kitchen machine. Christopher finds himself mired back in traffic.
Started in 3rd spot, did Christopher. And already Stuff Fadden already pulling. He beat the pace car off the racetrack.
Boy, tough break for Stuff Fadden, 63 years of age. You saw her currently. He was 10th in the points as they are side by side to the inner loop.
That's the young lady. The red 94 is Kat Teasdale as she tries to pass Brian Semo. Car off in the dirt. That's the 55 car, Brad Layton. As Jeff Barron, the 22 car, follows him. Folks, watch this start. This is unbelievable. I'll show you a replay. Look at them. They're about 6 abreast. The green car, I think, is that Kelly Moore?
Is that Quarterly?
I guess that's Quarterly. Dale Quarterly goes down, makes contact with Brian Wall. This time, the contact is significant enough that Quarterly spins.
Now let's watch from Brian Wall's in-car camera.
We see the Stefanik. It's a great jump. Pretty soon there we see Quarterly come in there, some contact. And once again, some contact. And this is looking out the back. Oh, and the 6 car is off in the Tulies. Does not hit a thing. Brad Bennett goes through the gravel pit. Does not hit the wall. He's on his way trying to catch up to the field.
And before that pit was there a couple of years ago, Benny, the cars would have just sauntered through that grass right on down to the Armco barrier. That gravel pit slowed him enough now to be able to get back in. See if we can see what happened to Bennett.
Oh, wow, he's sideways. Look at this. He goes between cars across the racetrack through the gravel pit. That's the gravel pit that Jerry was just talking about. And he slows down.
Right in front of Russ Brown. Car number 26 getting a driver change. The Herb Drug, who started the car, will climb out, and Scott Booley will get in, we are told, in that car number 26. As the leaders head up out of turn 10 for turn 11.
And look at Brian Semo. That's closing right on the back bumper of Stefanik. And Booley will go a lap down. He still is not out of the pits. And is that Kat Teasdale? Yes. The red car is the young lady, the Canadian, Kat Teasdale.
And Brian Wall is backing up. They have a problem that they had to scamper to put an engine in this car just after this morning. They were really in a thrash, but need to get a motor in the car.
They were in a thrash. And we can hear it. Sound like the drive shaft or something, Bill Weber?
Well, they're not exactly sure what it is, but he has radioed in. He is limping down pit road. About 9:37 this morning, Jack Roush found metal shavings in a filter. At 11:16 with a new engine in the car, one that came out of a truck in the truck series. They had that car back on pit road. Unfortunately, now early on the race, he's back on pit road once again.
Well, we have a lead change up front. Brian Semo is just rocketed by Mike Stefanik. Semo, who drives with Tom Boyd, the Trans Am Series. As one car, there is the Brian Wall car that has come to rest down on pit road.
That's too bad.
And Brian was 11th in the point standings coming into today. We'll show you the lead change a moment ago as Semo able to make the move.
Going down to the inner loop. Semo gets position on the inside. He'll outbrake the 51 car of Stefanik, classic road race move, outbraking the cars into the corner. And Jerry, I am really impressed with this third place car of Kat Teasdale.
You know, they call her Kat. Her name is Catherine. This is her first ever Busch North start, and I'm told it's the first time we've ever had a woman start in Busch North racing competition. But her background, Benny, is all road racing. IMSA factory Pontiac, World Challenge SCCA competition. As you see now, Brian Wall getting unhooked to climb out of his car.
That's too bad. They were really scrambling this morning trying to get that engine in the car. L.C. Greenwood, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, one of the representatives of players, was there with him this morning. Back to the leader, Brian Semo, as he comes off turn 9. You see Bobby Dragon go by in the green car, the gold car. Brad Lake, the blue car.
This race, 62 laps, 152 miles, $143,945 at stake today in the Burnham Boilers 150.
Oh, now they're racing back here.
That orange car, the number 29, that's the point leader, Dion. You saw him back there in heavy traffic. You look at the top 10 on the left side of your screen. Gary Marquis, the car number 15. The winningest driver on the tour this year, 3 victories in 1997. There is Dion, the car number 29. And he is being shown back in 20th position.
Dion pulled out like he's going to pass somebody. Not able to do it. Meanwhile, the 72 car, John Preston, is being passed by Ted Christopher. So whatever problem that Christopher had before, looks like he's been
no gears or nothing.
And Stefanik.
Watcher, tranny, or something just blew apart just before I hit the bottom of the S's. I'm coasting towards the chicane right now, but I don't even think I'll make the chicane.
Never see Dion going by the points leader.
That he's talking to Greg Ziffidelli, Zippy, his crew chief, who Mike Stefanik was just talking to a moment ago. Said, I'm not even going to make the chicane, and indeed he is not. He's going to pull off in the grass. So what was a close point race with just 6 events remain could open up considerably.
He stopped over in the inner loop.
All right, there's Brian Semo. No caution. Now the caution is out as Semo and Teasdale run 1-2. That'll put Marquis up in 3rd spot. Bobby Dragon is 4th. And Kelly Moore is 5th. As we are showing 5 laps complete, and that's the reason for the caution. Mike Stefanik has pulled to a stop at the end of the back straightaway, and Kyle's with another young driver who's had a problem.
Yeah, I'm standing here with Brian Wall with the Players Inc. car. You had a great qualifying run. You started on the outside there, had a little contact there on that first lap. What happened there, and then what seems to be the problem to put you out of it?
Well, you know, the brakes are a little cold early. I didn't mean to get into Dale, but, you know, it was a little early for passing like that. But, I mean, you know, that's racing. And I tried to woe her up a little bit, but, you know, I just couldn't get it slowed down. The brakes were cold, so I apologize to him for that. But, you know, the motor blew up. We had a problem this morning with the motor we had in it. You know, I want to thank Jack Roush and Dave Dion and his crew. I mean, they are all over there this morning. We changed our motor. And we pushed it online with about 1 minute to spare. So we had it in our back of our mind that we might have some problems. And, you know, lo and behold, we did have the problems. But the crew did a great job. You know, Players Inc., they come down here with us and spend a lot of money. So at least we qualify well for them. I wish we could have run a little longer for them. But just not to be today. And, you know, we'll come back next week and get them.
Well, like you said, he's got a lot of people helping him out here, and he'll be back next week.
All right, what a tough break for a young man who worked so hard to get that engine in this morning. As you said, the Jack Ross crew there helping him, and there is another driver who wanted to have a good day, needed to have a good day, and needed to be able to get out of that car and head to Long Island, New York for modified racing tonight. And here's where it began, I think, Benny.
Coming off to turn 1, he starts up through the S's, and we see him waving there to Teasdale to tell her that, hey, this thing's dead in the water. I'm not going anyplace, so don't run in the back of me. And Teasdale will go by, and he's waving to all the other drivers.
Well, you heard him talking a moment ago with his crew chief and Greg Ziffidelli. There are the points coming in. Stefanik was just 2 points back. I mentioned that there have been 5 different leaders atop the standings the last 5 events. Now, Stub Fadden has also pulled away. He was in 10th in points. In fact, in 11th was the car number 77, Brian Wall, who's also out. So let's check in the Stefanik pits.
Well, Greg, it looks like you're done. Transmission?
Yeah, it's a shame the Burnham Boilers car was running good. We were just going to kind of sit back and save it for the end, and I guess it sounds like a transmission.
We heard him tell you a little bit about what happened. Did it bottom out, or did he say?
No, he just said he went to shift it into high gear, and he felt the vibration. Nah, and that was it. Then no more forward motion.
I know you guys really want both championships. Obviously, this is a critical blow.
Yeah, we got a lot of races left. Hopefully, we'll be able to pick it up pieces and go on.
Okay. Well, they're packing things up down here, and they're not very pleased. Very disappointing day for them. Ended very early.
Boy, I tell you, talk about track position. Not good for the front row here. Take as Mike Stefanik, who's the pole sitter, sits there in the race car in the grass. And the guy started outside him right along in the front row, Brian Wall. Well, there he is being pushed back to the garage. So track position not real good early for these two guys. They have both had to call it a day here early in the Burnham Boilers 150. 6 laps are complete. Brian Simo is our leader. Back in a moment.
I made this decision once already. When Daddy had his first stroke, I made this decision then. I was not going to waste my life. I have been over backwards to be nice to you from the moment you walked in that... Hank is not something I can control.
Most of the time, I just think about being someplace else.
Where are you? She's going to be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Marvin's Room. An all-star cast brings home Marvin's Room.
You can't imagine your life without them. How about theirs without you? Who's your insurance agent?
In Shelburne, see Allstate agent Michael Parolin, 1971 Shelburne Road, 985-2900.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
ESPN's ride-along program takes you to Watkins Glen, a road course with as many twists and turns as this year's points race. Come along for the ride. The Bud at the Glen, tomorrow at 1 on ESPN.
Back in Watkins Glen International, lots of racing action coming your way later today at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour, that final hour, that scramble to try to get the cars dialed in for tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Dave Despain and all the crew for NASCAR Today. They'll set the stage, and then Bob Jenkins will be on hand, and our entire Speed World crew for our live flag-to-flag coverage, the 12th annual Budweiser at the Glen NASCAR Winston Cup event on ESPN. Our field summaries, you see Mike Stefanik, our pole sitter, being pushed back to the garage area. Brian Simo, Teasdale, Marquis, Dragon, and more in the top 5. There's a top 15. Number in parentheses, by the way, is where they started today.
There's Brian Wall, our pole sitter. He has been pushed finally back to the NASCAR Busch garage area. There we see the 42nd car. 30th place car is 42, and there's the cars that are out. Brian Wall and Steph Fadden already out of competition.
And Stefanik will try to get back in. We were told, even though it's a transmission, I'm not sure what they can do. Let's take a look and see exactly. If it was a linkage problem, Benny, they might have a shot.
Well, if it was a linkage problem, he probably would have had some gear enough to get back to the pits. Whatever he had, well, there's nothing there. I would guess he's peeled the teeth off the main drive as we watch the wrecker push the car back to the garage area. Finally makes it back.
All right, these beautiful shots from high above Watkins Glen International, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil Copter Can. There's a look at this beautiful 2.45-mile facility, and it's situated right in the middle of the Finger Lakes region of central New York. That's Seneca Lake, just north of us there, and you'll see some of the mountains that are in this area. Absolute beautiful country and a great setting for stock car racing here, NASCAR style, for this weekend. We're under caution for the first time today here in the NASCAR North Series, and there is Dale Quarterly in the car number 32, the former AMA Superbike. And take a look at that number 30. That's not, no, Benny, that wasn't one of our graphics people reaching for a donut. That's exactly the way he does it, right?
That's how he puts his name on the car, Dale Quarterly. As a matter of fact, as they were looking at the engine, they also changed an engine this morning in his car. His wife, Dale's wife, drove from Mass with the engine last night. She got here at 3 o'clock in the morning. The crew got up, came to the racetrack, and installed that engine. And now they've already been raising the hood, looking at the engine like he has a problem.
You think it isn't a family affair for Dale Quarterly's wife driving until 3 a.m. with that engine, and then they get up and put it in the car. What an effort. As we indeed are under caution. As Stub Fadden, the 10th place man in the points, up on the jack stands in the Napa Auto Parts Chevy Monte Carlo, trying to get that car back in. Brian Semo, our leader, after 7 of 62 laps.
First, it won a U.S. patent. Then the incredible Splitfire swiftly ignited the passions of drivers around the world. Now you can get guaranteed Splitfire performance for just $3.99. Hurry, it's the biggest savings ever.
Since the Hendrick Racing Team started using Quaker State, they finished 1-2 in the 96 Winston Cup standings. Finished 1-2-3 this year at Daytona. And they've won at Rockingham, Bristol, Martinsville, and Charlotte. Which makes you wonder, is it in their blood or in their engines? Quaker State, the quality the Hendrick Racing Team demands, the quality your car deserves.
Splitfire spark plugs are performance.
With Splitfire, it's money-back guaranteed performance. And guaranteed performance has made Splitfire a winner around the world. Now we're ready for you with the biggest savings ever. Hurry, this pricing ends soon.
Dreaming of a trip to Hawaii? Sun, sand, golf? Just enter ESPN Senior PGA Tour Aloha Hawaii Sweepstakes presented by Pearl Vision. Watch the Senior PGA Tour's Northville Long Island Classic. Look for ESPN's Shot of the Day and log on to ESPN Sports Zone to enter. You can win a trip for 2 to the MasterCard Championship in Hawaii, along with other great prizes from Pearl Vision. Enter ESPN Senior PGA Tour Aloha Hawaii Sweepstakes presented by Pearl Vision.
Back at Watkins Glen International Raceway, a lot of action to come your way on Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in for Prime Monday with Mike Tirico. Mike will have all the action setting up what's going to happen later at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC Sports preseason Monday Night Football. A battle of Pennsylvania as the Eagles and Steelers go at it head-to-head. That is Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC Sports. And Benny, one car has made a significant move. That is the car number 10 of Kim Baker.
As he started back in the 30th spot, has worked his way up already to 15th. And we've only had 4 or 5 laps of green flag racing.
This is Kim's first start in 1997, the former FCCA Corvette Challenge and IMSA World Challenge competitor. So no wonder he's made an effort to pass a lot of cars early on. He is very familiar with road racing. As we check in the pits now with Kyle Petty. Kyle?
Well, Brian Semo is leading this event right now, and he probably feels pretty good. But I was talking to his girlfriend before the race started, because that's my job working for ESPN, is to go around and talk to other drivers' girlfriends and stuff. And she says that he's fighting the flu, and that after this race is over, during happy hour, they're going to take him back over in the infield into a motorhome, and they've got a doctor waiting that's going to give him some IV solution, because when this race is over, he's got another race to run. He's got to run the Trans Am race this afternoon, and he's 4th or 5th in the points, and he's chasing that championship. So he's going to be a tired little puppy when this day's over with.
Be glad to see this day over. There's no doubt about it.
That is Kyle's job. That's part of the job description. Go around talking to drivers' girlfriends.
Yep. That car that Seymour is driving, the yellow car, is out of Canada. There we see all the transporters for the FCCA Trans Am division as they prepare their cars for the race this afternoon. And Tommy Kendall on the pole for that race this afternoon.
And Benny, right behind that Winston's Cup Series sign is the transporter. He drives for Tom Gloy, along the same people that Dorsey Schrader drives for, and certainly that's Dorsey's car sticking out, the Rebesta's car sticking out there. As you can see,
yeah, right there's Schrader's car.
And the one right beside it is Semo. That's Semo right there. So, all right, well, they continue with the cleanup on the racetrack and make sure they're checking all the areas of the racetrack before we go back green. We will take another break and come back with green flag racing action in the Burnham Boilers 150 from Watkins Glen, New York. Stay with us.
To the racing world, he's the Intimidator. But away from the track, he's Dale Earnhardt, gentleman farmer. A man who cares more about working the land than his next race. Yeah, right.
Can't get NASCAR off your mind? Then look for Atlanta Motor Speedway, now the featured track in the Busch Great Tracks of NASCAR Can Series.
I got to get a faster tractor. When people hear the Hendrick Motorsports team switched to Quaker State last year, they'll probably think Quaker State wrote us a big check. Well, that's not how it happened. First, it had to pass our camshaft test. Then it had to pass our dyno test. Then it had to pass a track test. Then they wrote us the big check.
Quaker State, the quality your car deserves. And in his own car, Jeff Gordon relies on Slick 50 Synchron synthetic fuel system treatment for peak performance.
When it comes to roping a steer, folks in Grand Junction, Colorado will tell you that Ron Markin can ride with the best of them. And when it comes to overhauling an engine or rebuilding a carburetor, well, he can do it all. You see, when Ron's not riding a horse for fun, he's turning a wrench for a living. So he buys a lot of parts, mostly from AutoZone. Sure, there are other parts stores in town, but Ron knows that when you want the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Right now, Suzuki Quadrunner ATVs come with more than just forward and reverse. They also come with backup. Suzuki is backing up every Quadrunner with a free 4-year extended protection plan. See your Suzuki dealer today. Now you can also get 0 down and 9.9% financing on selected models.
Back at Watkins Glen, restart lap 10. That caution flag lasting 4 laps. Simo the leader. Teasdale in second. We have had a change for third position. On the restart, Bobby Dragon made a move by Jerry Marquis to take third spot away. Kelly Moore is still in 5th position.
Paul Spencer, Jeff Berry, Santerre, and Bell round out the top 10. And the cars go through the inner loop, down through turn 9. I'm told that the 34 car, Stu Jones, has been black flagged for on the restart. He passed on the right side. You can only pass to the left. He passed to the right.
That Stu had never even been in a stock car until Thursday here, so he probably wasn't that familiar with the restart ruling. As you see, Simo has about a 10-car length advantage over Teasdale. He's getting a little bit of a challenge from Bobby Dragon.
Number 6 and 61 car, that's Mike Olson and Eric Bodine in the 21. Look at Olson diving down to the inside. I'm sorry, that was the 50 car that dove down to the inside. Brad Ruminek goes by the Bodine car.
They shuffle back in the pack.
And Bodine is being passed by another car. As the 18 car will go by, that's Russ Brown. Eric Bodine having some problems, and meanwhile they're trying to get 3 abreast behind him. So Ted Christopher, the 13 car, who started third, had some trouble and is trying to work his way back. And in that dust somewhere, there had to be a wreck.
Well, someone made a little excursion to the gravel pit. Now we have a change for second position. That is Bobby Dragon in the car number 7, who won the very first Busch North event here in Watkins Glen back in 1993. He has gone by Cat Teasdale to take second spot away. There is Simo going by in the yellow car. Then comes Dragon, the Skull car. Brand new Mike Laughlin road course car for Bobby Dragon here today.
He's trying to close in on the back bumper of the leader. Cat Teasdale in third place is a Canadian. And the car that's leading the race, the yellow car Simo is driving, is from Canada. We'll watch and see what happens as Teasdale is second place. There we see Dragon, the Skull car on the inside, the same spot that we saw Teasdale make a pass earlier. He gets down, gets position, and takes a spot away. Kelly Moore in the 47 car, followed closely by the 55. That's your blue car is Brad Layton.
Jerry Marquis, the 15 car, right in front of Kelly Moore.
The leader, Simo, has blown. Brian Simo loses an engine coming off the S's. Oh, his day is done.
You know, last month, Simo ran the Lysol 200 Busch South event here, qualified 19th and was making a move and had a problem just like this about 8 laps in when they lost an engine.
So he saw Stefanik park back there, and he said, it looks like a good spot to park, so I'll park back there. Man, tough break.
Well, let's see if we can see exactly where it might have happened.
Well, we see the smoke, and man, it is big-time engine eruption. So I'm sure that NASCAR, yes, we already have a full course yellow. They'll have to go out and make sure there's no oil to the S's there. That's a very fast part of the racetrack, probably 120, 30 miles per hour, right where he lost that engine.
And Brian Semo wisely getting the car to the inside, down some out of the group if he could possibly, and I think they've got to be just distraught. Let's check in with their pits and Kyle Petty.
I tell you what, the dejection on these guys' faces whenever they heard it, they just took their headsets off and then they put them back on and they talked to him for a minute. They were running so well. What happened over there?
Kyle, we blew another motor. We blew 2 engines through practice on a matched pair of cars. Put 1 engine together out of it and just prayed. But Brian had qualified so well that we knew he could really run well if the engine could stay together. But we were basically running on some pretty used iron here.
Well, you guys did a great job putting it back together,
Thanks
man.
very much. Crew did a great job.
All right, A.J. Parker, the car owner for Brian Semo, Carl Wegner, the engine builder. And there is Semo over talking to NASCAR's Gary Nelson. That's Gary on the right side of your screen, the Winston Cup Series director. And Brian says, gosh, I had him covered today. Benny, it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, when you start throwing the helmet up there, that's disgusted. That's frustration.
His brother Mark Semo tried to qualify for this race and blew an engine on Thursday. Didn't even make qualifying, so at least Brian got to qualify and lead this race.
I think that's what Mr. Parker was talking about, the engine that Mark blew and the engine that Brian blew in practice. They put those two together to make this engine today.
All right, so the young man climbs over the wall to get back in his car for an assist back to the pits. He led 9 of the 12 laps we've completed thus far. Back in a moment.
TikTok Jewelers, for the special times in your life. TikTok Jewelers, 185 Bank Street, Burlington, for the special times in your life.
It's Page Time's Gone Bananas sale. Act now and get a high-quality Motorola Renegade pager at an appealing price of only $14.95. And shipping is free. Get the messages you need and a savings of over $20. But hurry, this offer is good only while supplies last. Call Page Time today at 1-800-870-2220 for a little more freedom and a lot more peace of mind. Page Time's Gone Bananas sale. Don't let this opportunity slip away.
Carolina Panthers, last year, out of nowhere, all the way to the NFC Championship game. Are they for real? This year, we find out. For starters, get past Kansas City and new QB Elvis Gerbach. NFL preseason, Carolina at Kansas City, Thursday, 8 p.m., only on ESPN.
Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil, the quality your car deserves.
Everything is constantly changing in NASCAR racing. How the cars are built, how they're maintained, how the drivers drive them, the interior of the cars. Even the pits are constantly changing. Here we have the way they're doing gas now. They have this nice stand where they set the gas on it. The gas guy walks over, he picks it up. It's at the right height where it doesn't really hurt his back. These guys even have this over it, that they put this reflective thing over it, so the gas doesn't get hot, because when the fuel gets hot, it's not as good and not as productive as it is when it's cold. They've got their catch cans. They've got everything sitting here. This is where they do their fuel stuff. As we go over to another pit over here, you can see the disparity between one crew and another. These guys have got theirs propped up on jack stands. They've got it leaned up against their air tank, and they've got one leaned up against the pit wall. Now, obviously, the car that we talked about first is leading the race right now, Cat Teasdale. This other car over here, or she's running second or third, wherever. The other car over here is a little bit further back in the pack. So that could have a little bit to do with it. Maybe when these guys get their gas cans set up right, they'll run a little bit better.
Kyle, every little bit helps. I guess you get style points in the pits nowadays. I think they get more and more sophisticated week after week after week.
Yes, they do, and they see something that the NASCAR Winston Cup guys do, and they've got to copy them. And by the way, Kyle, Teasdale is running second, just for your information.
All right, we'll show you exactly where she's running. From 6th to 2nd, Kat Teasdale, Bobby Dragon, our leader, Kelly Moore, Jerry Marquis, Brad Layton, that's the top 5. Paul Spencer in 6th spot, Jimmy's little brother.
Andy Santerre back in 8th. Ted Crisper's worked his way back up to 15th. Mark Truex in 16th.
And look at Dale Quarterly after that spin at the very beginning. He was all the way back at the back of the pack, and now he is in 30th position.
Also made a pit stop as well. Never see Brian Semo, the leader, that caused this caution flag with his lost engine. He's out. Stefanik, they tell me, is not going to fix the car, so we can consider him out. Stub Fadden has been trying to fix the car. He's been on pit road a couple of times. And we'll see Semo's car has made it back to pit road, and now they can push it back to the garage area. Because, folks, no use looking. I know it's blown up. I saw it.
We mentioned Dale Quarterly back in 30th. Remember that run from back in the pack last year? You talked about it. Got Steve Park. Caught the eye of one Dale Earnhardt, so that young man can drive a race car. If you can pass him at Watkins Glen, you have got some talent. Maybe that's what Dale Quarterly is trying to show. You see Brian Semo climb out of his car. Still under caution here after 13 laps are complete.
The holder of NASCAR's all-time speed record, Bill Elliott has become somewhat of an authority on speed. So when it's time for Bill to make a pit stop, he comes to the one place that holds a speed record of its own.
Welcome to McDonald's!
McDonald's, satisfying your need for speed.
Some of the most admired cars are owned by the guys who know cars best. ASE certified master mechanics. And the #1 brand of motor oil top mechanics used is Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
First, it won a U.S. patent. Then the incredible split fire swiftly ignited the passions of drivers around the world. Now you can get guaranteed split fire performance for just $3.99. Hurry, it's the biggest savings ever.
I get my license next month. When I was a kid, I figured that there was no way that thing was going to be around when I turned 16. I wanted it to die so bad. It broke down a couple times, and I was like, yes! But Dad would go to Napa, get whatever 1970s parts he needed, and boom, that leisure suit on wheels would be back on the road again. He made me a deal last week.
Get straight A's, and you can drive your mom's car.
Thanks, Napa. Somebody make it stop.
Buy 4 Sensatrack shocks or struts with your Napa card and get a $40 mail-in rebate.
The points race in championship auto racing is getting tight as Paul Tracy, Greg Moore, Alex Zanardi, and Michael Andretti head to Mid-Ohio. It's Miller 200 time, Sunday on ABC Sports.
Back at Watkins Glen International, Ford Mustang safety car leads the field out of turn 10. They will hang a hard ride at turn 11, and suddenly they will see the green flag being waved by Don Horvath. On the NASCAR Busch North Series Tour, Bobby Dragon the leader, Kat Teasdale in 2nd, Kelly Moore, Marquis is 4th, and Layton is 5th.
We see the green is waving, and they're fanning out. We see Brad Layton, the blue car, and they're all trying to fight for position, and Marquis is going backwards.
That was Paul Spencer. What a surprise that a Spencer would make a move like that on the start. Great effort by Paul Spencer to go all the way to the inside and take the spot away. What about the driver who was leading a moment ago that brought the caution out, Brian Semo, while he's standing by with Kyle Petty?
Well, Ryan, I must have a mini Parkinson syndrome. I talked about you a minute ago, and the next thing you know, you're standing here beside of me talking to me. They said you didn't feel that good out there today, that you were fighting a little bit on the flu. Honestly, your girlfriend's on, so I got to say that. But, I mean, you had to be feeling good the way you were running.
Yeah, we had a great race car. Really, hats off to the team, that $400 records team. Those guys stayed up all night putting that car back together. We suffered a little engine problem last night in the last practice, and boy, those guys have some heart. You know, I really got to give it all to them. And, it's a shame, but there's always next weekend.
Hey, there's this afternoon, man. Go get some rest and come back later.
All right, Brian Semo fending off the flu, and now suddenly a problem with the engine on his car number 03 that was the early leader for 9 laps.
And right now, Jerry Marquis, the 15 car, would be the points leader with all the trouble we've had, but he is now falling back. Go back to the lead. We see Dragon, the leader, Teasdale, Kelly Moore. Top 3 go down in the corner.
And we are told the car number 15 of Marquis right there, who gets tagged a little bit by the 71 car. We are told that Marquis is down a cylinder. He's lost a cylinder, now on 7 cylinders.
71 car is Rick Bell, as he leads Mike Olson up through the S's. Turn to right-hander. And here's where the Marquis car is really going to be suffering on those 7 cylinders. Watch as the car just all blow right by him. Oh, they're going to be 3 abreast getting in the corner. Oh. And Ted Christopher goes on the inside. Almost contact between Christopher. That's a white car, the 3rd car in line.
Boy, great shots from our Pennzoil copter cam high above the inner loop there. You see them as they make that sweeping right-hander. That is turn number 9. Then they come back to 4th gear for the short sprint up to turn 10. That's the left-hander.
And Christopher in that 3rd place car. And we see another car smoking back there. Dave Dion has got some contact. Dion's made contact. We hear
I can hit the left side. I can hit the left side.
See the left front fender there.
That's Dave Dion talking to his brother Roger Dion, who is the crew chief. And now Dave comes down. They will try to pull the left front fender away. A 2-time winner this year at New Hampshire and Holland, New York. And he heads to you, Bill Weber.
Well, you heard him calling in. They'll go to work on the left front. Crew on the wall. Signboard is out. Dave Dion, the points leader by 2. Limping down pit road. He has a very first pit stall all the way near turn 1. So he finally pulls in, comes to a stop. They go around to the left side. We can see the sheet metal as Ben can't tell about the tire condition from here, you guys. But they've got tires on the left side.
We got a lot of smoke from the left rear.
They put in fuel with the caution laps we have run. He may be able to go the distance from here. A lot of speculation about fuel mileage because of all the caution laps already run in this race. Guys wanted to come in between 18 and 20 when the fuel window opens. Some guys do not fit that early. Working on the left front, car still on the jacks. Takes about 1 minute and 20 seconds to get around here. Use a tool to pull the sheet metal away from the left front tire. Watching for the field. Here they come. They see him. They get him. He'll never make it. He's going to hustle down pit road, but he'll never beat the leaders out. He'll lose a lap.
Tough race for the current point leader, Dave Dion. There's Bobby Dragon in the car number 7. Dion trying to hold him off.
He did beat him out. He did, in fact, beat Dragon out, but can he stay in front of him? Can he? Is the fender clear for the top, or can he outrun Dragon? That's the question we've got to answer right now.
Well, we don't see any smoke so far out of that left front on Dion's Ford. At the Ford Thunderbird.
I really thought they'd made a mistake in not taking a hammer and beating the fender out. They instead put the new tire on and then tried to bend the fender away from the tire. And we can see that Dragon, the 7 car, is closing in ever so slowly on the 29 car. The points leader of Dave Dion.
Oh, we told you there had been 5 different changes at the top of the point standings in Busch North competition the last 5 weeks.
There the points leader. Dave Dion is now running 29. Stefani finished 37. Marquis is back in 15th on 7 cylinders. Andy Santerre is now in 7th spot, and Brad Layton is in 5th spot. So Santerre right now can probably leapfrog the 4th all the way to the lead.
Yeah, Santerre was only 35 points behind the leader Dion coming in, so he would easily take the point lead. They are black flagging 1 car, I think, Benny.
The 9 car, Scott DeWare. We saw him smoking just a moment ago. He has been black flagged by the Busch North officials.
There's the car number 9. His Pontiac Grand Prix now makes the hard right-hander. Will come down pit road, 35 miles an hour. And meanwhile, Dion doing a pretty good job trying to hold off Kelly Moore and Bobby Dragon and Cat Teasdale, the front 3 cars. As Dragon is our leader. There's DeWare's car coming to a halt. There is Dave Dion. Dragon slowly inching up on him, but Dion, he'll tell you, he'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not a road racer.
He's a short track specialist. Dave Dion been doing this for many, many years. But he realizes right now that the championship could be at stake if he can stay in front of that green car.
Dave Dion, 33 years he's been involved in racing. And here's a car that stopped just right past the entrance of the chicane, the inner loop, to car number 18.
That is Russ Brown. Now, that could cause the caution flag. The car is running, and Russ is slowly moving. Okay, he is moving. I'm told under Busch North rule, as we see Dion go down in the corner, Bobby Dragon following. Under the NASCAR Busch rule, North rule, at the interchange, the inner loop, if you miss the entry, you have to stop. You have to come to a complete stop. So normally, they let the cars just slow down and go back to where they were. That's not the case. They have to come to a dead stop. So maybe that's what Russ Brown was doing back there, was simply coming to a dead stop. There's Ted Christopher as he goes down the backstretch.
Our camera right now, Daddy.
And you know, he qualified third, but had a problem at the start. Kyle, what was it?
Jake, we went down there and talked to the guys in the pit. They seem to think they've got a brake leak somewhere. That the right front caliper or something has a small pinhole in it, and as he goes and runs, he has to constantly pump the brakes. It's pumping fluid out. He'll run hard. All of a sudden, they get hot. He has no brakes. So he's just looking for a clear place to run so that he can try to save the things, and they can get in here and tighten it up if they get a caution.
Now we see 43 laps to go. These cars can probably run somewhere around 35 laps probably on a tank of fuel. So if they get a caution flag from lap 35 on, they'll make a pit stop, and that's their stop for the day. And some cars, as a matter of fact, may stop on the green flag.
And there's Dave Dion still hanging on. Now the window for some cars was lap 18. They said if we get past 18 laps, we can pit and we may be able to make it. Here's one car coming down pit road.
Martin Truex, the Blount Seafood car. And right in front of him is the third place car of Kelly Moore. And this is probably a planned stop, is it, Bill Weber?
Certainly is. Fuel only. A lot of guys thought the first guy in would be the first guy across the finish line. Kelly Moore's already away in just 8 seconds. Benny, about 42 laps. The 55 car is also on pit road, but they're going underneath the car to examine that.
All right, a bit of strategy here. We talked about fuel windows. They had to get past lap 18. Here's the 55 car, Brad Layton in. Truex, the 56 car. They race side by side back down toward the S's in turn 1. So already some people saying, okay, I'm going to roll the dice here from lap 18.
That is amazing. This is a planned stop. They saw Jeff Bodine do it last year. As soon as he could make it the rest of the way, they stop. If the caution flag comes out, they'll be right back up front.
That means they've got to go 44 laps, folks, 110 miles. Can they make it? Well, already a mystery here in Busch North competition. Back with more from Watkins Glen in a moment.
You think about your car a lot. You have grease under your fingernails. You can name all the pro drivers and the cars they drive. You know rebuilding a 4-barrel isn't easy, it's fun. You have all the car stuff a guy could want, and you know where to go if you don't. True Value, official hardware store of NASCAR, IROC, the IRL, and garages everywhere. So hey, get Master Mechanic motor oil for just 79 cents a quart, or these Master Mechanic lawnmower spark plugs for only $1.19 each.
Some of the most admired cars you'll see are owned by the guys who know cars best. ASC certified master mechanics. And the #1 brand of motor oil they use in their own cars is Valvoline, makers of DuraBlend, the leading semi-synthetic for a cleaner engine due to better control of harmful deposits. So use the oil the guys who take care of your car use to take care of theirs. People who know use Valvoline. Take the wheel on the new Valvoline website. It's worth the ride.
Where do the best drivers go to get a head start?
Morning, Jeremy. Morning, Jeff.
Kmart, because our car care department stocks only the most performance-driven batteries around, like the new Excite NASCAR Select, the battery Jeremy Mayfield and Jeff Burton use in their race cars, the same one Mark Martin and 21 other teams put in their cars. So if you want the official battery of NASCAR in your car, you better get into your nearest Kmart. Chances are there's one just around the corner. NASCAR Performance, Kmart low prices.
Well, folks, the New England Pontiac Dealers Grand Prix of Jamie Obey has come to rest in the gravel pit exiting turn 1, and that means full course caution for the 3rd time today at Watkins Glen International. And who will that help? You got to believe it. This guy right here, our point leader, Dave Dion, coming on gallantly right in front of our leader, Bobby Dragon, and now we'll get to make up that lap.
Yeah, it's interesting to think. I wonder now
You're gonna have
if Dion and the crew will try to make it the rest of the way. Probably not. They probably are going to have to stop again for him. And we see Andy Santerre has stopped. What's going on down there, Bill?
Well, he stopped and got his fuel, Benny, and now the pit board is out to stop, so the field bunches up. So he got in before the field all caught up to the leader, so he's being held at the end of pit road, but he's made his stop.
See, a lot of people thought the window, there's a stop sign at the end of pit road, and a lot of people thought the window was lap 18. That's when we saw some of the guys pit a moment ago. We saw Kelly Moore pit on lap 18. Now we're at lap 22, so most of the guys could make it the rest of the way here. That's why they decided to go ahead and come on the pit road. The big question was what you posed, Benny. Lap 16 is when Dave Dion stopped. Could they make it?
Could they make it? That's exactly right.
All right, third caution flag of the day here. And the field will line up behind the safety car, and I'll bet you we'll see some more pit stops momentarily. We'll come back and cover them in just a moment.
Ghost stories.
I'm getting some really strange readings in here.
Superstitions.
I've got some problems here!
Ancient myths.
I think I found something.
On August 15th, the most frightening tale of all.
It knows my fear.
Is not from our past, but from our future. Event Horizon. Rated R. Starts Friday, August 15th everywhere.
IndyCar racing, where the thoroughbreds of motorsports go head-to-head in a battle of science and sweat, where high-tech meets high-speed, and where all the horsepower in the world doesn't mean a thing if you can't get out of the pits. But while every race begins with a green flag, for Scott Pruitt and Patrick Racing, it starts with something else. The Duralast battery from AutoZone. Power you can depend on.
My name is Jim, and I am the beer man, and I'm proud to sell this Coors Light. So please do not call me beer dude. Don't yell beer jockey, barley boy, or suds buddy, and I'll be happy to pour you a frost brewed Coors Light. Stay away from Brew Brother, Captain Cup, and Sir Pour-A-Lot, and you'll get your Rocky Mountain refreshment faster than you can say Lager Lugger. I am Beer Man.
Hey, beer stud.
Coming.
We welcome you back to Watkins Glen. We are working lap number 23 and the third caution flag today. Here's what happened. The car number 25 of Jamie Obey, the black car right there, spun backwards down to the gravel pit in turn one to bring out the caution flag. Now, he had been able to get the car back going, but here's what happened to him just a moment ago to bring out the yellow.
When he comes in the corner, we see as he goes down the corner, he loses control. And watch this gravel stop this car. Beep, boom. Is that great or what? 94 is in. Teasdale, Kyle Petty.
She came down pit road second, stopped dead on her mark. They're cleaning the windshield, changing right side tires, and give her a couple things to drink. She's screaming for something to drink inside this car. But put 2 cans of gas in, and she'll be back out there. Bill Weber?
Bobby Dragon right on the sign, getting his fuel, a clean windshield. First can is in. Now, slowly, and he stalls it, refires, and rolls away, and squeezes by the 87.
That's Paul Spencer. He was trying to get by. Now they will stop him with the stop sign there. And Bill, a moment ago, Andy Santerre pitted, and they held him, but they held him for a reason.
Because pit road was closed. He pitted too early. I haven't had a chance to check with the crew. Boy, this is a big mess down here at the end of pit road. Now the go sign is revealed, and the field slowly rolls away. But the 44 car of Santerre pitted too early, into the longest line on the restart. We'll check with the crew.
And you can add to that into the longest line, the car number 59, Lou Rettenmeyer. He also pitted early, so a moment ago when pit road was supposedly closed along with Santerre. So we'll see those guys having to make a move back up through the field.
This is going to really, really jumble this deal up. Wow. Interesting to see what's going to, as this race unfolds, how it's going to play out. Can Kelly Moore make it? Can Bradley, can they make it the rest of the way on the field? What about 29, Dion? And Teasdale, the young lady in that 94 car. How many cars can she pass as she tries to get back to the front?
Boy, she has been impressive, and I was told that if she was impressive today, she might have a shot. She told me herself she might have a shot at driving Ed Whitaker's car in the Busch Series event next week at Michigan. It'll be her first super speedway start. She certainly has been impressive today on the road course. There is Kat's signboard. Her name is Catherine. They call her Cat Teasdale. She's from Canada, and she has been impressive here in the early laps of the Burnham Boilers 150. Back with more from Watkins Glen in just a moment. Stay with us.
I made this decision once already. When Daddy had his first stroke, I made this decision then. I was not going to waste my life. I have been over backwards to be nice to you from the moment you walked in that... Hank is not something I could control.
Most of the time, I just think about being someplace else.
Why are you? She's going to be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Marvin's Room. An all-star cast brings home Marvin's Room.
You can't imagine your life without them. How about theirs without you? Who's your insurance agent?
In Shelburne, see Allstate agent Michael Parolin, 1971 Shelburne Road, 985-2900.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
Fag Hats Rock and Roll Outlaws tour, so I know about groupies. I took a psychology course at the community college, so I understand what these WNBA groupies are going through. I empathize. Discovering love for fundamentally superior basketball. But on the other hand, I find them to be, well, losers. I mean, for most guys, it's legs. For them, it's usually a nice all-the-way jumper.
Utah, Houston, Tuesday at 7:30 on ESPN.
Getting set for a restart at Watkins Glen. Tom Carey, who did not pit that time. The car number 42 being shown as our leader. Bobby Dragon did pit along with most of the leaders. Dragon led 12 laps in his Skull car number 7.
All right, here we go. Kelly Moore, who stopped early, the 47 car, is in second spot. And look at him fan out as they try to gain jockey for position down in turn 1.
Tom Carey, who started back in 38th position. Our split fire driver snapshot shows you that he currently is the leader at lap 22.
And there comes Kelly Moore, the tic-tac car. By the way, Doc, tell me about the 47 car Kelly Moore did. Just kidding. Look at this scramble trying to get in the inner loop. Look at, but they all have made it so far, and there we see the 7 car Dragon, who led so much. He's able to squeeze through there. Dion is in front of the 7 car now once again. There's Teasdale, the 94 going by.
And Dave Dion is being shown in 11th position. He just got his lap back, and now with all those pit stops, he is almost back to the top 10.
You ever see Dion, who we're talking about, as he follows the 05 car of Glenn Brio. And, oh, trouble going near the 28 car, right in front of Christopher, right in front of that car, and so far so good. Put your first gear and drive away, baby. There you go.
A couple of Joey's Chitwood style 360s from Billy Penfold in the car number 28. No caution.
And a lot of cars, I think, thought the caution flag would come out, so they dove in the pit. See the cars on pit road, but there is no caution flag.
Let's show you again what happened to Billy here just a moment ago. Billy Penfold, car number 28.
Comes off the corner, gets a little bit too far, gets in the dirt, tries to save it. Around and around, and oh, Billy. I mean, he tried to give me a T-shirt yesterday. He saw his kids, and a battle for the lead.
The tic-tac car is making a charge.
Tom Carey still maintains the lead, the 42 car.
Kelly Moore, the 1995 Busch North Series champion, as we check in with Bill Weber.
Brad Layton back on pit road. He's got obvious right front quarter panel damage. They've changed the right side tires, pulled out the sheet metal. He pulls away, started 9th, now far back in the field.
All right, Carey and Moore side by side. Carey the 42, Moore the 47.
Kelly Moore's going to try that one. Still can't make it. And that's the car that I saw coming down pit road. Brad Layton, he hit it because he had to for some damage to the right front. I know one thing, 42 that Carey seems to have an awfully good engine in that car.
running, looking at the car outside. Ted Christopher's car. You heard his spotter talking to him, saying outside.
Clear, you're running 10th. Good job, Ted.
Running 10th, they told him. And once again, Kelly Moore, the 47, tries to get by Kerry. Can't quite make it. That's Rick Bell back in the third spot, 71. And Kelly Moore tries again. You see Dave Dion, the points leader, has moved up to 6th place.
Well, a great run up toward the front by these two guys, Kerry and Moore, in the 42 and 47. Kelly Moore almost had a fender inside him. He backs off, otherwise he turns him around.
The 42 car really goes down the straightaway.
Let's see if Moore can make a move. He's backing up, trying to get a run on him down in turn 1. There are the speeds for the top 10 at the line.
Slid the left front going down the corner. Got his car a little bit out of shape. He does give Kelly Moore the opportunity to get by. And now the 71 car, Rick Bell, tries to close in. That's Jeff Berry back in 4th spot. He's the 22 car.
So you went over to Kelly Moore's garage pits and walked away with a pocket full of Tic Tacs?
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're talking about now.
Rick Bell trying to get by.
Great shot from high above with our Pennzoil copter cam. The sweeping right-hander. At the very end of the backstretch, they come back up the short chute to turn 10. It's a left-hand turn. Watch a move here. Trying to make a move inside of Kerry. Car number 71.
Rick Bell will be able to make that spot. Jeff Berry trying to do the same thing. He tried outside. And he tried to accelerate down the front stretch. Go by the start-finish line. There we see him sweep out to try to get position so he can out-brake the car when he gets to the corner. Didn't work.
Talking about the car number 22 of Berry there. It's Bell, Kerry, and Berry. Bell in the 71. And look at Dion here. Dave Dion is showing in 5th position. He was almost going to be lapped when the caution came out. Now back in 5th spot.
Able to get by Martin Truex just a moment ago in the 56 car. But can he make it the rest of the way? That is the key. Oh, we got a car spun down. Bob Brunel is spun in turn 1. And he's facing all that traffic. I know that's not a very good spot to be in.
His camouflage machine, Chevy Monte Carlos. All right, and what about Andy Santerre, who had to go to the end of the longest line, now working his way back into the top 20. Let's check in their pits with Bill Weber.
And with crew chief Dave McMaster, obviously you were in a hurry to get into pit road because you wanted to get out, but it didn't work out for you, did it?
Well, we didn't know where he was at right that particular time, and I just gave him the options what was going on and where the leader was at. And next thing you know, we're coming down pit road. So it was just a big mistake on all of that. So hopefully we can get back to front.
He was unaware pit road was closed.
Yes, sir.
Morning round.
Full course yellow now, guys.
All right, Dave McMaster, an engine builder, and also the crew chief of that car right there, the Monroe Muffler machine of Andy Santerre.
That is the reason for the caution flag. He was not able to get that car started, Brunel, so they got to throw the caution to get the safety vehicles out, the wrecker out to push him off.
And Benny Bob Brunel is 58 years of age. There is Kerry in the pits, who did not pit on the previous caution. That's why he was the leader on the restart. Now he comes down pit road in the car number 42, the AAA aircraft supply machine. The crew making sure they get it completely full of fuel.
And they finally have got the car full of fuel, and Kerry will drive away.
Started to mention Bob Brunel, the car that brought the caution flag out, Benny. He was one of the original racers back when this series began back in the early 80s.
And we see that they're holding him again at the end of pit road because pit road was not open when Brunel goes in the pits.
And the pit flagman up at that end. He had the pits closed. That's him, the NASCAR Busch Series flagman behind that pole. And at the other end, they're holding the stop sign. Now they say he can go. We check in once again with Bill Weber.
Well, we talked about how Dave Dion pitted because he had that tire damage and the sheet metal damage. Well, the question is now, can they make it on fuel? And they've had about 5 or 6 guys over here punching numbers into the calculator. They're not giving away the answer right now, but they're really hopeful they'll be able to make it. They're hoping that those early caution flag laps and that these laps may enable them to go the distance. But he's got a long way to go, you guys.
It's like everything else, Bill. Looks like the woman's doing the work down there.
Well, she's the one who knows how to operate the calculator.
Exactly.
That was Roger Dion, Dave's brother, on top of the toolbox. He's a longtime crew chief for Dave Dion. He's been racing now for some 33 years.
This might be Teasdale's first Busch North race, but she learned quickly how to put that arm out the window and get that fresh air inside the car.
All right, 29 laps complete, working caution as we check in once again in the pits. Bill?
Okay, Roger, what's going on over here?
Well, we're figuring the fuel mileage, and the word is we can make it, assuming we can take as much out of the cell as we anticipate we can. We know what the cell holds, but it's a little new to us how much you can get out of a fuel cell on a road course. So if we can get as much as we think we can out of it, we should be okay.
You got a lot of people working on it, but it looks like the lady's doing all the figuring here.
You know, she's the only one with the brains, you know.
And we know he loves road course racing, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He's having the time of his life out there.
All right, well, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so maybe the numbers are in, and maybe Dave Dion can make it and turn racing bad luck into racing good luck.
Well, you saw on her shirt she is the team manager, and that's because, as you heard Roger say, she's the one with the brains. She was the one doing all the calculating in the pits, and maybe if she figured right, Dion can get a good top 5 finish and continue as the point leader here in the NASCAR Busch North Series Tour. Back with more action in the Burnham Boilers 150 in just a moment. Stay with me.
Let's be honest. We give our oil to these guys, and we're happy to do so because everything we learn about how oil performs on the track helps us make better oil for you. But some folks already know that, like ASC Certified Master Mechanics, America's best. They choose Valvoline over any other motor oil. So the next time you need oil, ask your mechanic. And if he doesn't recommend Valvoline, maybe you should be looking for a new mechanic.
Welcome, Buddy Lazier. Hi there, I'm Jimmy Vassar. How can I help you? At Firestone, we take our competitive tradition seriously. Take our sale on FR360 steel-belted radials. Now competitively priced at 4 for $99. With a 45,000-mile limited warranty. But this sale won't last long. So hurry into Firestone. When I'm calling you,
Dad, you hungry?
Taco Bell. Want some?
Hey, man. ESPN serving up a summer of love, love, love. The Great American Insurance ATP Championships. Semi-final action. Today at 3:30 on ESPN and tonight at 7:30 on ESPN2. Advantage you, man.
Back at Watkins Glen International Raceway in Watkins Glen, New York, the Burnham Boilers 150 and the fine folks at Pennzoil on our Pennzoil copter cam giving this beautiful shot from high above the Finger Lakes region of central New York.
As you can see, folks, this racetrack sits on top of a mountain.
If you've never been to Watkins Glen, you owe it to yourself to come here and visit not only the racetrack, but the surrounding area. The little village of Watkins Glen, the area of Geneva, New York.
But you can't rent our Pennzoil copter cam to see the area because it's our Pennzoil copter cam.
All right, let's check back in the pit. There has been some serious fuel calculation going on, right, Kyle?
The 71 car, I've been down here talking to these guys. They pitted on lap 22. They're convinced they can go the rest of the way. I'm going to have to eat a little crow here because theirs was the gas cans I showed that were propped up on the jack stands here. So obviously, the jack stands work just as good as anything else. These guys have a borrowed car. They have a makeshift crew. They brought their own toolbox from somebody's garage. And Benny, they told me to tell you guys, this is a car that doesn't have any water in it. It runs on this Evans cooling system. Weber?
Okay, we have to do it this way. This is Deanna Welch, because she wasn't going to turn around if I came up to her. So you did all, you're the team manager, but they say you do it all, including work on the car.
Yes, I work on the car. I just do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. You were doing the calculator numbers earlier, and what did they come out to say?
They came out to say that I think we're going to make it. So we're going to hope for the best. David's doing a nice job out there.
And you've told him there's an eggshell under that accelerator, right?
Yeah, he knows.
Okay.
He's doing great.
You're not nervous about being on TV, are you?
Actually, yes.
Okay. How about you nervous about winning here?
Well, that would be wonderful, but I think we're just going to go for a real good finish.
Get your points and go on to the next one. One of those round track things.
One of those nice quarter-mile ovals that we love.
Thanks, Dion. Good luck.
Thank you.
She's the team manager, but the guys down here say she's really one of the guys. She helps out in everything the team does, and they have worked the numbers again down here, and they say Dave Dion can reach the finish, and they're not sure how many other guys have that ability.
Wow. Wow. And, Benny, that is not a barbecue grill on the right side of the helicopter. That's the camera.
Ah.
Benny got excited, thought they might be smoking some burgers up there. That's the camera, that pod off the right side. And there's George, our cameraman, waving. Wave at us, George. There you go, waving out the right side of the Pennzoil helicopter and giving us these beautiful shots from high above Watkins Glen. What a crowd. They told us last year some of the media estimated that this weekend on Sunday for the Watkins Glen had over 150,000 people. You know what the record is here, Benny? The Guinness Book of Records for crowd at Watkins Glen, 500,000 back in 1973 for a rock concert. Some of your favorite groups, Grateful Dead was here, Allman Brothers. As they come down, and they will get to halfway this time by 31 of 62 laps complete, and Kelly Moore is our leader.
This is my favorite group, Jerry, race car drivers, as they go down in turn one, trying to get position. Kelly Moore trying to drive away. And Rick Bell, that 71 car. You know, it's not water. Hal Benny said there's some kind of ingredient that isn't water, and it was up to 300 degrees, he was telling me. But
it's called non-aqueous propylene glycol.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm glad you said that. You just, folks, I know it ain't water. That's a Dion trying to take over the spot. Oh, right in behind the 22 car of Jeff Berry, and it's Dion up in 4th spot.
Boy, Dave Dion, he's getting pumped. As they say in the X Games, Dion is stoked. He's ready to run for that top 5. All-time winners, take a look. Kelly Moore leads the list. He hasn't won in 2 years in Busch Glen competition, but he has 15 wins overall. Bobby Dragon, 1 win this year. Ricky Craven, who runs, of course, the Budweiser Chevrolet down in Mr. Cup. Dale Shaw, now a Busch South regular for James Finch. And Jamie Obey, the 3-time national champion. Those are the top 5 all-time winners in Busch Glen.
Dion trying to get position, get down to the inside. Oh, almost spins with Pinfold. He saved it. No, he didn't save it. He did not save it. Gets her going, and no full course caution.
Gets her Hewitt's auto body machine refired, or tries to get it refired. Been a very precarious. There, you see the smoke puffing out the exhaust. He gets it refired, puts it back in gear, and pulls away. The car number 28 of Billy Penfold.
And he also has some damage to the front of the car where he ran into the tires that protect the arm code. Look here, Dion. Got 3 abreast. Who's going to give? Oh, Dion slams on the brakes, but he does manage to get 3rd spot.
Who says he's not a road racer? That guy's a roundy-round oval track racer from years ago. Did a pretty nice road racing pass there. As Dion in 3rd position. Barry back in 4th. The 56 car being shown in 5th spot. Martin Truex.
And we see Ted Crisper, that white car, trying to dive to the inside of Barry. Oh, and Dion making contact with the 71 of Bell. Around they both go.
James off in the dirt. He's still moving on the left-hander.
That's a spotter.
And it looks like he may have just locked the right track.
Gotta get the hood off. He may be coming in. He may have some damage.
What do you mean he may be coming?
He will be coming into the pit. Get the hood off.
Basically, he said, jerk the hood off.
You copy that, Rog?
He's talking to Roger Dion, his brother. So he said, jerk the hood off as you bring the car.
You gotta help me. Yeah.
Also, the 71 car, we see the damage back in the left rear where he made contact with Dion, or Dion made contact with him, I should say.
There's the Evans Cooling System Grand Pontiac Grand Prix of Rick Bell. And what a tough break for Bell, who had a great run going in that machine.
So frustrating. So frustrating. Meanwhile, let's watch as he go in the corner. This is a left-hander. Dion dives down to the inside. Trying to make the guy think that he's there. He does. Oh, and Dion locks up the brakes and just swerves right in the side of Bell.
Boy, Bell was just an innocent victim, and the car just abruptly turns right.
Yeah, that's a situation where he goes down the corner and tries to use the brakes harder than he has before, and they locked up. Wow. Tough break for a points leader, Dave Dion.
How about Ted Christopher's view? He was right behind him from his in-car camera. Les Care Kitchens. Oh, man. Wow. As we check in the pits with Bill Weber. Bill?
Well, before the race, we talked about Dave Dion and how he really doesn't care much for road course racing. His goal was to get his points and get out of here. Well, he's not going to get much of them now. They've removed the hood. It'll be a modified the rest of this race. They've cut away some of the front fender sheet metal. They've got bungee cords and tapes holding his car together. So a very disappointing end.
Let you know when the pace car gets to the left-hander.
Talking about the position of the pace car on the track so they can beat him out so he won't lose any more track position. But obviously very disappointing. I believe that when he went back out and it looked like their pit strategy was going to work out, that he got a little fired up, that he thought he could have a really strong finish here on a road course, looking for maybe his third win of the season. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen, and he will take his points, and they'll go on to one of those little oval tracks next time.
That's exactly what happened, Bill. He got out there and he got in the spirit of the competition. He said, wait a minute, I can win this baby. I can get by. And that's when all the trouble started, as we see Bell being pulled out of the sand trap, and we see him walking out of the trap. Now this is the fireman.
Fireman there walking along with them. He is still in the car. They will lower the hood on Rick Bell's Evans Cooling System Pontiac. Under caution for the 5th time today, coming out on lap 34 here at Watkins Glen. Back in a moment.
Split-fire spark plugs are performance.
With Split-Fire, it's money-back guaranteed performance. And guaranteed performance has made Split-Fire a winner around the world. And now we're ready for you with the biggest savings ever. Hurry, this pricing ends soon.
Some of the most admired cars are owned by the guys who know cars best. ASE certified master mechanics. And the #1 brand of motor oil top mechanics used is Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven. Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half-dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
And our Pennzoil Copter Cam flying above Watkins Glen International have been giving us some great aerial shots, not only of the terrain and the beautiful countryside here in the area around Lake Seneca, but that's a shot of the racetrack. The fine folks at Pennzoil giving us these beautiful pictures of the inner loop. And we'll show you the pictures they had of this crash that just happened a moment ago in turn 10.
Dion, the red car, trying to get by Rick Bell, the blue car. Goes in the corner, locks up the brakes, and he swerves, and bam! Rick Bell had to be so shocked when he gets tagged in the left rear, because out of no place, watch all the cars lock up the brakes as they get to the corner. Kyle Petty, what's going on in the 71 pits?
Well, basically, he's come in here and they've cleaned the windshield from inside and out, because you can see how much dust is on these glasses. This like saying just attracts dust like a magnet. And what's happened is the rear bumper, the rear fascia is off the car. It's torn off from the left side. They've bungee corded it, they've taped the left side of the car. Everything else looks good. The guy checked the cooling to see whatever that word was you guys used instead of water to make sure his temperatures were fine, his ductwork was fine. And basically they're just going over the car, checking it, and then they're going to send him back out.
All right, a tough break for Rick Bell. You see again what happened to Bell up in turn 10.
That's Dion once again. As he slams on the brakes, he just locks them up and swerves right in the side of Bell. And Ted Christopher, that 13 car, the white car goes by, says that's the easiest 2 spots I've ever picked up in my life. He's now running the 2nd spot.
So that's 2 I don't have to pass.
And this is riding along with Ted Christopher as he goes in the corner.
And speaking of gravel, they're going to sweep gravel off the pit of the car number 7. That's a gravel that was inside the car when the car came to a stop, and they raised the hood. They were able to shake some gravel out when they dropped it off the jack. And there are the tracks to the gravel pits up in turn out of turn 10, also one down in turn 1. And of course, inside that gravel pit, there is a huge styrofoam barrier. A styrofoam barrier that Ricky Rudd became a very big fan of yesterday morning. There are the styrofoam blocks as his car lost brakes going into turn 10, and he estimated at about 150 miles an hour. See that on the right side of the screen, that's where some of the debris is left from yesterday when Ricky Rudd's Tide Ford hit and was destroyed. But Ricky able to walk away, as we'll show you what his car looked like. That's what's left of Ricky Rudd's Tide Ford from yesterday, about an hour and a half prior to Busch pole qualifying. A brake line pulled out of its insert. He had no brakes. The car backed it around into the wall backwards. The front and rear of that car totally destroyed, but those styrofoam blocks allowed Ricky to walk away completely unscratched. And there's a shot from the Kelly Moore pits. Wife of the former national champion of the Busch North Series. She's smiling because she knows her husband is leading this when the Tic-Tac Pontiac is at the point. Back in a moment.
What is the secret of happiness? Realizing that everything is interconnected. So all living things are connected to each other.
Well, that's true. I mean, Adelphia is connected to everything. Your TV, phone, computer, even home security. Adelphia is your link for everything. I get vibrations just thinking about it.
That would be your pager.
Oh, yeah.
Why buy it when you can rent it? You can have all the furniture, all the appliances, and all the Zenith entertainment equipment you need from Rental Express. No credit check, no deposit, free delivery. With Rental Express, you can have it now. Rent the best. Rent Zenith. Have it now from Rental Express, 180 Flint Avenue in Burlington.
Sorry, but I'm psyched to quit smoking. And now I read here I can't use this patch. It's not for light smokers.
You picked up the wrong box. That's Nicotrol. You want Nicoderm CQ.
CQ's not just for heavy smokers?
No, Nicoderm CQ has 3 strengths. Light smokers can start
with the step 2 box.
Right. 6 weeks here, 2 here, and free of nicotine.
I like that plan.
Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to quit successfully.
Mike Tirico just outside of Boston, the 36-hole final of the U.S. Women's Amateur Championship. Italy's Silvia Cavallari had a 5-up lead after the morning round, but Robin Burke has come back in the afternoon round. 3 birdies within a span of 4 holes. She's now 2 down. We'll have live coverage right after auto racing. Now back to Dr. Jerry Punch at Watkins Glen.
And don't forget, coming up next, the final round of the USGA Women's Amateur Championship. We'll have that for you coming up at the conclusion of our Burnham Boilers 150. And later today on ESPN2, qualifying for the Grand Prix of Hungary. That's coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern time on the news. And tomorrow, our live coverage at 7:45 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2 with the Grand Prix of Hungary Formula One action. Our field summary, we take a look at our rundown here after 35 laps are complete. Kelly Moore being shown as the leader, the 1995 Series champion, the Tic-Tac Pontiac. You saw Roxanne, his wife, a moment ago in the pit. She helped score the car for the team. The Les Care Kitchens car of Ted Christopher had that problem at the very beginning. He's in 2nd position. The car number 22 of Barry is back in 3rd.
Right now, Paul Spencer's in 3rd spot. Bill Weber?
Well, I'm in the Kelly Moore pit with Larry Layton, his crew chief, and you've pitted. You say you're set to go.
Yeah, you know, we concentrated in last practice yesterday on fuel mileage, and we figured we'd short-pit these guys and see if we couldn't get up front. And right now, it looks like with all these yellows and stuff, we're set to go to the end. You know, Kelly says the car feels real good, so hopefully this will be our day. You know, the crews work real hard, and they really deserve this, you know, so we're looking forward to it.
What's your Uncle Brad doing today? Oh, he's in this race, isn't he?
Yes, he is. You know, it looks like he started off well. Now he looks like he's banged it up a little bit, so hopefully they'll patch it up, and he'll have a good run also.
Okay, that's Larry Layton. His Uncle Brad is in the 55 car, and I asked him, are you sure you can make it to the end? He goes, yeah, I'm almost positive.
Almost positive. And so they had a driver change down there just a moment ago. Jeff Barry in the 22 car, I guess, is so hot, he got out, and the fellows driving the 42 car, Tom Carey, has gotten in. So Jeff Barry out of the 22 car.
They had some ice packs on his back. Here's a car number 22 being shown was being shown in third position before. And what about Ted Christopher, Kyle Petty?
Those guys say they can go the rest of the way on fuel. There's no worries. They said they had a little bit of a brake problem with it we talked about earlier, a little bit of a transmission problem. Mysteriously, he's running good, and it's all fixed itself. He's not complaining about anything right now.
He's been starting just out of 11.
And the car number 29, you Dave Dion fans, he stayed on the lead lap despite all that damage and all the repair that Roger and the crew did in the pits.
Pick it up, he's gonna go.
So once again, green flag waves. Back to competition here, and we see the 7 car, Bobby Dragon, trying to get by Martin Truax. That's Truax in the 56. 10 car, Kim Baker has moved up to the 5th spot. And Baker's making a move on Dragon.
Baker started all the way back in 30th position.
Oh, contact. Contact between the 7 and the 10 as it came through the S's. Baker will maintain that spot. Teasdale, the red car on the inside with a puppy feet on the hood, trying to make a move. And there's Mike Olson in the 61 car, is in 6th.
That's a cat paw, Benny. That's cat puppy. You've been playing too much blackjack. Okay.
I got it. Oh!
Side by side.
Christopher, 13 car for the lead. He does not have position. Is he going on? No.
Remember what happened last time up here in turn 10 between Dion and Bell. Now Christopher looks to the inside of turn 11 for more.
There we see from Ted Christopher's Les Care Kitchens, Wheelan, emergency vehicle alarms as he goes down in 1. He's got position. I'm going to outbrake you. Nah, I better not. Think how far was this corner. Kelly Moore hangs on. Christopher, once again, he really wants this lead. He's got position up through the edge.
You got the lead. Good job.
So Ted Christopher, who's currently being shown as our leader, finished 3rd here last month in the NASCAR Modified event. And coming up next at the conclusion of our race, USGA Women's Amateur Championship final round.
Oh, got some pretty serious contact.
That's Dale Quarterly has come into contact with, looks like, the guardrail and come to rest against some of those foam barriers up in turn 10.
And Quarterly's car is not running. As the camera pans back, we'll see. Here come the leader. So Dale Quarterly will go a lap down.
There's Christopher in the car number 13. Kelly Moore in 47. Truax in the 56, the 10 of Kim Baker back in 4th spot.
And we see Bobby Dragg who left this race earlier in the Skull car. The 7 is falling back to 6th spot and has continued to lose distance to the leader. So something obviously wrong with the 7 car.
And Kyle Petty is caught up with Jeff Barry, who had to get out of his car just a moment ago. Kyle?
Yeah, Jeff, you were having a pretty good run out there, but now you're standing in here with me. When I walked up, they were pouring water on you and checking your pulse. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. I just baked myself in the car. First thing I've ever had to do in my racing career is get out of that car today, because the car was good, but the thing kept overheating, and when it overheated, it would slow the car up, and it slowed me up a ton. I can't believe how hot it was. I put Tom Carey in the car.
he'll do a good job for us, and I'm almost embarrassed to get out, but I mean, I was going to probably hurt myself or someone else if I stayed in there. I had nothing left.
That's a tough call to make, but it's a smart call. He's standing in here safe and sound now. Kat Teasdale's had some trouble coming in the pits.
And looks like she may be changing a right front tire on the car number 94. It's a great run for Catherine Teasdale. Ran up front early on. Made that pit stop. Got caught back in heavy traffic now. She makes a pit stop, and she shouldn't lose a lap by coming on the pit road. She is moving down pit road at 35 miles an hour. The car number 94. As it was showing 23 cars still on the lead lap, she would be the last car on the lead lap.
As she exits the pits, we see Dale Quarterly coming on pit road with some damage to the right front of his car. And here does, in fact, come the leaders.
Take it easy.
All right, remember, coming up next, the USGA Women's Amateur Championship final round. So we got golf coming up at the conclusion of the Burnham Boilers 150. We're about 23 laps away.
And Bobby Dragon, the Skull car, is on pit road. He's not mentioned just the last lap. He was slowing down, but he's bringing it to the attention of the pit crew. He's telling his crew that it is a flat tire. Kyle Petty.
Dale Quarterly come in here with, I guess, both sides flat. This thing looks like he has been up against the guardrail somewhere. I don't know where. Vinny said he comes down pit road, but this thing's wiped out. They're just beating it back out right now. Bill Weber?
Flat left front for Bobby Dragon. They'll change both left side tires. You can see the left front is flat from where I'm standing, so they changed the left sides. Got it in contact a couple laps ago. Wanted to stay out, but couldn't. They talked about it, had to bring him in, and they put on the left side tires and he'll head on back out. But was running up at the front. Now he's got the whole field and the whole track behind him.
Well, tough break for Bobby Dragon, who won the very first road race ever run in Watkins Glen in the Busch North competition. And how did Dale Quarterly damage his car? Well, we saw it a moment ago up against the guardrail and the styrofoam up in turn 10. Here's how it happened.
It's almost like he didn't have brakes. It's almost like, no, he does have brakes because he stops it there. Going in turn 10, for some reason, the car goes straight. And they repaired the damage. He's going back on the racetrack.
Sort of a modified Darlington stripe. He got a Watkins Glen stripe all the way on the right side of his car. Well, Ted Christopher is our leader. Kelly Moore runs second, but Christopher has had to do it the hard way from the back of the pack after qualifying third.
Here, we got a local caution in the
Our split fire snapshot on driver Ted Christopher. He started third. His lowest was 30th on lap 1. They have a problem with entering turn 1, and now he's back at the front of the field.
Save it.
That's right, Teddy. They're saying, don't drive so hard. Save it. Have something near the end. And the whole group of cars, big group of cars coming into the inner loop. Andy Santerre, the 44 car going by. That was the 6th car, Brad Bennett.
Yeah, that's...
No pressure behind you. You got 15 car lengths. Get a rhythm.
That is Ted Marsh, who is talking
down
to
a
the
little
driver.
bit, don't go too hard. Aim the brakes, got to make this thing finish. Full course yellow, yellow's out, yellow's out.
All right, you heard it from their crew chief and spotter for Ted Christopher. And
20 laps to go.
That is the 6th time we'll have a full course caution, and Ted Christopher will be able to slow down behind the safety car. Pit road is closed, so they will line up behind the Ford Mustang safety car. We'll come back and cover any pit stops that happen here in the late laps at Watkins Glen International. Back with the last few laps of the Burnham Boilers in just a moment.
Imagine if getting gas were more like mid-flight refueling. We have at the new, faster, easier Shell. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
Before infusing, I couldn't get my fingers through my hair. My hair looked like a fuzzball. And now looks
shiny, it looks healthy.
Infusium 23. It's the leave-in Amy believes in.
My hair was so damaged. It was like steel wool. And now it's shiny and smooth. Very surprised the first time I used Infusium.
It's the leave-in Jennifer believes in. Infusium 23 leave-in treatment corrects, restores, structurizes. After one use, hair looks healthy.
I control my hair now. My hair doesn't control me.
Infusium 23, the leave-in you'll believe in.
Now I am a believer.
Any of our clients can go to their Prudential financial advisor and get good advice with regard to the amount of money they need to save today. The advantage of saving more money today is that you have to take less risk on your portfolio to achieve your goals in the long run. And given that most people seem to be concerned about short-term volatility, taking less risk is a good thing.
Back in Watkins Glen International, we're looking at the bumper cam, the Less Care Kitchens machine for Ted Christopher. He's being shown as a leader, his Chevrolet Monte Carlo up front. Just a reminder, coming up next, the final round of the USGA Women's Amateur Championship. So golf is coming up next.
I wish I was out there playing in the Pro-Am. I don't guess they have a Pro-Am, did they? Hate it when that happens.
Well, did you miss a day playing golf this week?
I did. Today.
All right. Our AutoZone race, you had to work. Our AutoZone race recap, Ted Christopher being shown as our leader, has led 4 of the 41 laps so far. There have been 5 lead changes. This is caution number 6 for a total of 16 laps. The average speed down 69 miles an hour because of the caution flags. Our leaders, Ted Christopher, Bobby Dragon, Kelly Moore, Brian Simo, and Tom Carey, as well as Mike Stefanik, who was our pole sitter, who led 2 laps. And off the track, Scott DeWare in the car number 9. And out of race, those that have had to park it for the day, Tom Carey, Lou Rettenmeyer, Russ Brown, Brian Simo, engine problem, Mike Stefanik with an engine problem, and Brian Wall also had an engine malfunction.
But Jerry, you know something? The day is not over yet. There's plenty of sunshine left in the Empire State of New York.
And you probably got your golf club with you.
Yes, I did.
Okay, 21 laps to go. And take a look at our field summary. You see Ted Christopher started 3rd, but that's deceiving because Christopher went back to 30th on the first lap due to a problem at the start. Kelly Moore started 10th. He has come to 2nd. How about Martin Truex from 21st to 3rd? Kim Baker.
The Santerre car 44, some of our observers around the racetrack telling us seems to have some smoke coming out of it.
You hear the spotter? He's telling him what camera we're on. He said, hey, we're on the bumper cam.
Haven't showed that for a long time, about 5 minutes.
Okay, Mike Wells, change the angle. Listen to the spotter.
We're looking at him in the car. There it is. You're on TV.
You're on TV.
There you go. You got it.
And that's what I call a spotter, a full-service spotter. Not only tell you what cars to pass, but what camera you're on, so you can wave.
It's all our sponsors.
Let's see if Benny can talk to Ted.
Hey, Ted Christopher, this is Benny Parsons up ESPN.
What?
This is Benny Parsons up ESPN. You read me?
Can't hear you.
Ted Christopher, this is Benny Parsons. Do you read me?
They're pointing to the sponsors when they have the camera on.
Yeah, with so many of his spotters.
Benny Parsons is trying to talk. Okay.
I'll try it now. Ted, this is Benny Parsons. You read me?
Can't hear him. It's real staticky, Ted.
All right, we'll try later. We'll try it when he gets around on the...
When I come on the front straightaway, maybe.
We'll try that.
All right, that is Ted Christopher, 38 years of age, and we are told that Ted may run for Rookie of the Year next year in the Busch South competition. So now they're on the air watching in the pits on television. Let's go to Kyle.
Now you guys are on TV. They've been talking to Ted, telling him everything that's going on, every camera angle, and how he was on TV. So all of a sudden, they switched to it, and I don't think they realized it was the back of their heads. They've never seen the back of their heads before. This is something new for them, guys. So they're pretty excited down here to be up front.
All right, just a reminder, we're going to go golfing there pretty soon. After the conclusion of this Burnham Boilers 150 USGA Women's Amateur Championships final round coming your way. Back in Watkins Glen in a moment.
It's that time again. The NFL is back. And Sports Illustrated wants to help you get ready with the ultimate preseason package. 3 great football gifts, a limited edition NFL Team Sports Watch and the official video of your favorite team, both free with your paid subscription. Plus, SI's Pro Football Preview, free when you use your credit card.
Gotta have it! Gotta have it!
Your rugged Team Sports Watch is water resistant and features the logo of your favorite team. Whether you want a classic or a hot new design, the choice is yours. With your official NFL team video, you'll see if your team has what it takes to get to football heaven in '97. Call now. Get 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 57% off the cover price.
But we're not done yet.
Use your credit card and we'll also send you SI's own Pro Football Preview free. It's the ultimate preseason package, free from Sports Illustrated and nowhere else. Get into it.
That command account has a statement. You can't get a better statement than that, in my opinion. 3, 4, 5 pages here versus all of this stuff. You've got checking account capabilities. How many shares I had, how much I invested. The information is there, which helps make me a better investor. It gives me up-to-date, current information, and it takes the place of all of this stuff. When it comes down to tax time, I just hand it to my tax man. The best statement I've ever had. They even 3-hole punch it for you. It's really handy.
Getting set for a restart here in the waning laps at Watkins Glen International. The Burnham Boilers 150. Ted Christopher, our leader. Kelly Moore in second. And how about Martin Truex all the way from 21st spot to 3rd.
Kim Baker started 30th. He is currently in 4th spot. Green flag. Let's see what happens as they charge down in the corner. All the cars will go in the corner single file.
That was Mike Olson in the car 61 a moment ago, was trying to make a move inside of Baker. Now, we heard about some possible smoke out of the 44 car of Andy Santerre. What about it, Bill Weber?
Jerry Dave McMaster, the crew chief, says they are golden, and they are good to the finish, and they are still convinced they have a great opportunity to win this race, and they thought so even when they had to restart at the end of the field. So we've talked about all these guys that have been moving up from 30th and from 20th. Well, at one point, he was last on the racetrack. Andy Santerre, defending champ of this race, is 6th. Remember, he's one of these guys in the rumor mill that may be in a ride down south next season. But there does appear to be maybe some smoke coming from that car off the right rear. So we'll go back and check with them again. But they said they're fine.
It might be tire smoke. I'm not really sure where that smoke has been coming from. Tommy Bowles, the 76 car, in 7th spot, follows Santerre. That's Santerre right there, the 44 yellow car. Let's see any fender rubbing the sheet metal there. And there we see the 21 car, Eric Bodine, has blown down the backstretch. I guess this is down the other backstretch coming in turn 11. Sponsored by Bully Hill Winery. Oh, and he fires it up to try to get back, and that was a mistake.
And now a big plume of smoke out of Eric Bodine's Chevy Monte Carlo. And one turn ahead of this moments ago. Here's something else we had a little action with.
That's Mike Olson, the 61 car. That's Stub Fadden's grandson. He and the 10 car of Kim Baker get together, and did he save it? Yes. Did not hit the guardrail, but look at all the positions that he's losing as the cars go by.
And just ahead of that, this happened.
Oh, there's the 87 car. Around he goes. Paul Spencer. In the course of about 20 seconds, we have all that action. That's Jimmy Spencer's younger brother, Paul.
So all simultaneously around this road course, action happening in different parts.
No pressure behind you.
Spotter talking to Ted Christopher. Car number 13, the Les Care Kitchens machine. There's Kelly Moore, the Tic Tac Pontiac. Truex back in the 56 car. Martin Truex.
See the 86 car going by, Dennis Demers.
Remember, coming up next, USGA Women's Amateur Championship Golf. Running a little bit over here. A lot of caution flags, a lot of cold course yellows for some accidents here. But great racing here. NASCAR Busch North Series style.
Looking at the back bumper of Ted Christopher.
Kat Teasdale back on pit road again. Catherine Teasdale, the Canadian, making her first start in Busch North competition. She had been running in second spot for so long. Now apparently they haven't jacked up what looks to be a transmission problem.
Yeah. You think on the transmission it project the other side of it because that's where the linkage is, but possibly they're going in from that side as Christopher tries to stay in front of Kelly Moore. That's Moore in the second spot, 2 white cars. And then comes Mark Truex, Kim Baker, Andy Santerre. That's 74 car is Tracy Gordon.
All right, we're being told it is the rear end on Teasdale's car. Rear end leaking on car number 94 of Cat Teasdale that was off pit road a moment ago, jacked up.
50 car, Brad Rubinek. Oh, and we see another car has lost an engine. Tommy Bowles has lost an engine, and he's going to spin in his own oil right in front of some cars. And he can't start this car to go. And another car's gotten in the oil. He's backing in the pit.
And that's right. That's the car number 6 of Bennett, the Auto Palace sponsored machine. He got in the oil and spun back into the pits at turn 11. And now we'll have full course caution again because they obviously have to get the oil and have to get the safety crews out to turn 11. And remember Dave Dion, the problem he had earlier. Here's Jamie Obey again in the gravel pit. He spun there earlier to bring out one of the cautions. This time he's had some pretty significant contact. He's 3-time national champion in the car number 25.
That's Brad Bennett trying to get his car started. He didn't start it, won't turn, won't turn. He said, man, if I could just start this thing up, I could drive on back.
Well, 47 laps complete. We're working caution flag number 7.
And ever see Tommy Bowles losing the engine. As he goes in the corner, he broke the block or something. Oil fluids gets on the racetrack. He gets in the fluid, around he goes. Now, he's putting fluid on the racetrack. As other cars, and that was the 25 car. That we saw the damage when he ran in the back of the car. Brad Bennett, the 6, has made contact with that fluid, ran over the fluid, and he is spun off course. There's Tommy Bowles talking to the NASCAR Busch official, telling him what happened to the car.
And there's Jamie Obey in the car number 25, the New England Pontiac dealers. He is mired heavy into the gravel there. He was in the gravel pit up in turn 10 earlier. Now he's in the gravel pit down at turn 1.
This take more than a sandwich. I think this is about a full 7-iron to get out of this sand.
Now they bring the cable over from the wrecker, who will not pull into the sand and try to pull that car number 25 out. Jamie Obey, 44 years of age, 88, 89, 1990 series champion in Busch North competition. There's some debris that's out of turn 11.
That's off Jimmy Obey's car. I'm sure we saw the damage to the left front.
And we're coming back with more. Reminder, coming up next, golf. The final round of the USGA Women's Amateur Championship. That's golf coming up after about 14 more laps here at Watkins Glen.
Whose car is that? A lot of cars in this town need parts from Parts Plus. Take a hint from your car. Go to Parts Plus, America's family of auto parts stores. At over 2,500 locations nationwide, Parts Plus sells all the quality, name-brand auto parts you need. So if you want to save yourself from some sleepless nights worrying about your car, go to Parts Plus.
We're America's family of auto parts stores.
The company that brought you the most innovative, high-performance backhoe in the business now offers a machine with a whole new level of versatility. Introducing the new Caterpillar C-Series integrated tool carrier. Let your imagination go. Most attachments can be changed in less than 30 seconds without leaving the cab. Think of the time it'll save, the additional work it'll perform. Once you see it and operate it, you'll get attached. The new Cat C-Series. Experience it. To learn more, call us. Southworth Milton, your Caterpillar dealer.
Our own set of ways here at Gateway 2000. You see it in every computer we build.
Hey, hand me that audio cable, would you? Sure. Thanks.
Gateway computers feature the Intel Pentium chip. Call 1-800-GATEWAY and buy a computer. Oh, please.
Back at Watkins Glen International here in the late laps, and folks, caution flag again on the racetrack for the 7th time of full course caution. We got action coming your way. Coming up Thursday, NFL preseason coverage Thursday. NFL Tonight. Chris Berman and all the NFL guys going to update you about what's going to happen later on Thursday night. At 8 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. 8 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann will bring the action. Yeah, Collins and Thomas. Some of the heroes you'll see. NFL preseason ESPN coming your way Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
Go Panthers!
Panthers trying to rebound from that pummeling they got in the first preseason game against Jacksonville. They were handled pretty easily down in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, Brad Layton has some serious damage to the nose of his car. Co-ed sportswear. And also, 74 car. Ooh, somebody's done. And that must be the front of Jamie Obi's car. Remember all the damage we saw to Obi's car? That must be the front of Obi's car that he's following around there. You think he's going to get black flag?
Well, they're going to come by. We'll see if possibly Mr. Horvath will black flag him. Don Horvath, who's the Busch North Series flagman. They are waving the caution flag.
That's Tracy Gordon in the 74 car. He does not make any entry to pit road. And so far, the NASCAR officials are not.
Hey, folks, stick around. Still more action to come from Watkins Glen. If you can take it, if your heart will take it, we got it for you. 6 o'clock Eastern Time, NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour. That's that final 1 hour of scramble where the Winston Cup guys get to dial their cars in for tomorrow. And how about tomorrow? NASCAR Today, Dave Despain will preview what's going to happen later at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. And then our Bob Jenkins steps in, and he will lead the charge for our Speed World gang as we bring you live flag-to-flag coverage. 1 o'clock Eastern Time, the 12th annual NASCAR Winston Cup Budweiser at the Glen. And if you've been living in a cave the past 24 hours, you probably haven't heard that Todd Bodine is the pole sitter for that race tomorrow. We check in with Bill Weber.
Well, Roxanne Morris sits atop the pit box here, scoring for her team as her husband goes by currently in second place. And this team is very confident that they might be able to get by the current race leader, the 13 car, and pick up a win here. And by the way, Benny, I found these for Jerry, so
good.
I'm going to have one of the guys run them up there real quick.
Good, Bill, attaboy.
Benny said he got his whole lifetime supply of Tic Tacs yesterday. So are you implying that I need Tic Tacs, Benny?
No, I didn't say that. I said you ought to go by and see.
Okay, here's Brad Bennett on pit road in the Auto Palace machine. He's one of the cars that got caught up in the oil coming out of turn 11.
And see, he's also overheating as he should have some of that Evans cooling system, that stuff that don't boil.
Well, I think the hot dogs are ready because we're starting to see some moisture from that little funnel. And they are going to black flag, I told the car number 74, Tracy Gordon, who was the leading Rookie of the Year contender. Now let's check in with Kyle.
The 6 car that got in the oil up there and backed into the tire barrier and couldn't get it cranked. If you finally got it cranked and brought it back down pit road, what they've done, they've just bungee corded the rear fascia. These fascias are made out of that carbon fiber. They crack loose from the metal, and they just want to flap around back there. They've taped it back on, bungee corded it back on, and sitting back out there to get some more laps in.
Back up.
There's that 74. Go ahead,
sorry, Jerry. 74 car. We showed that just a moment ago. Why don't you talk wild, Jerry?
I got a mouthful of Tic Tacs. I can't talk.
I got you. We showed you that a moment ago. Well, I'm being told by some of our spotters that the NASCAR Busch North officials may be displaying the black flag towards this gentleman and saying, go in there and get Jamie Obi's front end off the back of your car.
As if we haven't seen enough trouble with sand and gravel today, you're going to see a little more action from the sand coming up next. USGA Women's Amateur Golf Championship, the final round is coming up at the conclusion of our coverage here from Watkins Glen International. Running over a bit here because of the caution flags and the exciting road racing action. Just a preview what you're going to see coming your way later today at happy hour 6 o'clock. And of course, tomorrow the Budweiser at the Glen. There's Jamie Obi's Pontiac Grand Prix being pulled back on the hook. Back to the garage area. You're wondering where the rest of Jamie Obi's car is. There it is, stuck in the back end. I think that's part of the front end of Jamie Obi's car and part of the floor pan beneath the fuel cell on the car number 74.
It may not be, but just leads you to believe, because we did see Obi making contact with someone, and I believe this is the group of cars that he was running with. This Brad Layton, 74 car, Tracy Gordon.
That would be an educated guess?
Educated guess.
Or just a wild guess, in other words, from us here. Golf coming up next. Women's Amateur Championships.
Check it out and see if the NASCAR flagman, well, he still doesn't have the black flag. And Tracy Gordon is going to the pit and say, okay, disconnect this sheet metal from the back of my car. Tough break for him. He was running up in 8 spots, got to go all the way to the rear of the field. Right now, 18 cars in the lead lap.
Tracy, the leading Rookie of the Year contender in the Busch North Series. And they have 15 drivers signed in as Rookie of the Year contenders. They take the best 10 finishes in Busch North competition. In the South, they take the best 15 finishes. And there are the rookie points. We've got a pretty healthy, comfortable lead over Dennis Demers, Tom Carey, Lee Sherwood, and Dale Quarterly. The current 1997 Busch North rookie point standings with 6 events left after today.
Dale Quarterly is driving the Ocean Spray car. We saw that car earlier. I think he's out of the race now or having some trouble, but the one that driving the 4 car, Dale Shaw, was driving for. He has now moved down south to drive for James Finch in the Phoenix Construction number 4.
As you watch the action in the pits, let's check in the Santerre pits with Bill Weber.
And Dave McMaster, obviously you guys are very happy with how your car is running. You've come through almost the entire field, currently 5th.
Well, we feel real good right now. Last lap there for this caution, he was about 2 seconds faster than the leader. Just catching up with them and be able to run with them, that's going to be the next thing. You know, getting by them, so it's going to be the real hard part now. So we're real happy right now. We got back where we're at and doing a whale of a job, so we're pretty tickled.
And you can explain that smoke we're seeing off the right rear of the car.
Well, basically, it's really when we get into a left-hander there, evidently we've got a tire that rubs just a little bit, and that's the only place it seems to bother. So it's nothing that should put us out of the race by any means.
Is he aware of it?
Yes, he is. Yeah, and during our pit stop, we looked everything over. Everything looks fine.
All right, good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, in case you weren't with us earlier, they pitted when pit road was closed and had to go all the way to the rear of the field. Well, he's worked his way back up to 5th. Only got 4 more spots to go.
Andy Santerre finished 2nd here in '95. Finished 1st here last year. One of only 2 drivers that have more than 1 top 5 finish in the Busch North competition at Watkins Glen. The other one, Dale Shaw, who's already made the move down south. Santerre should follow him in 1998.
What tires say? Let's go.
Coming up next, USGA Women's Amateur Championship, final round of golf. As we get set for more green flag action here at Watkins Glen International.
It's that time again. The NFL is back. And Sports Illustrated wants to help you get ready with the ultimate preseason package. 3 great football gifts, a limited edition NFL Team Sports Watch, and the official video of your favorite team, both free with your paid subscription. Plus, SI's Pro Football Preview, free when you use your credit card.
Gotta have it! Gotta have it!
Your rugged Team Sports Watch is water resistant and features the logo of your favorite team. Whether you want a classic or a hot new design, the choice is yours. With your official NFL team video, you'll see if your team has what it takes to get to football heaven in '97. Call now. Get 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 57% off the cover price.
But we're not done yet.
Use your credit card and we'll also send you SI's own Pro Football Preview free. It's the ultimate preseason package, free from Sports Illustrated and nowhere else. Get into it.
Back at Watkins Glen, New York, Benny Parsons, your Phillies Jerry Punch, Kyle Petty and Bill Weber in the pits covering the Burnham Boilers 150. We are getting set for a restart here on lap 51 of 62 laps. It'll be 11 laps to go. In the Burnham Boilers 150, Ted Christopher. Got a win last year in Busch North competition at New Hampshire. Bob and Gary Bear's beautiful facility up in the mountains of New Hampshire. He won there a year ago. Trying to get his first win in 1997.
Well, the green flag is now waving. Christopher accelerates, tries to beat 47 car. Kelly Moore down to turn 1.
got to get him from behind. Still no caution flag, and Moore has to sit and wait for an opportunity to get the car refired and pull back out. Now he gets the car going.
Dave Dion will go by. Ever see Cat Teasdale, the red car, she will go by. What a tough break for Kelly Moore.
There's Christopher, the leader, and there is Kim Baker behind him. That was Baker that got into contact with Moore entering turn 1. Truex in 3rd spot. Santerre is 4th.
You will see down in turn 1, Kim Baker goes down. Kelly Moore doesn't realize he's any place in the world. Just slight contact on the right rear, and around goes the tic-tac Pontiac all the way back to the rear of the field. We'll watch as Ted Christopher sees out what he sees out the back bumper. Here's Kim Baker going to dive down to the inside, and boom. And tough break for Kelly Moore. Never can see another angle as he comes off the corner, and around he goes. Tough break.
Oh, I tell you. Kim Baker is making his first Busch North start in 1997, former FCCA Corvette Challenge and IMSA World Challenge drivers. You see Christopher now dancing through the S's.
He's just driving away from Kim Baker right now.
Baker in 2nd, Truex and Santerre in 4th.
Brad Layton is in the 55 car. He's currently in 5th.
6th spot goes to Brett Rubinek out of Lakeville, Connecticut, in the car number 50. That's the car trying to get inside of Layton for 5th.
Couldn't quite make it. Meanwhile, is that John Preston back in 72? Yes, it is. In 7th spot, the white car. Mike Olson is next. Oh, we got a car going around. The 05 car, Glenn Brio.
And he was smoking a moment ago, so you got to wonder if he had a problem or just lost it. That's Glenn Brio, 26 years of age, Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
And this will probably bring out yet another caution flag if he's not able to get this thing refired. And it sure don't see any sign of it refiring. The leader does go by. Gets a signal, 10 laps to go from the NASCAR flagman. You ever see him coming down in the corner? Oh, I see. He got a little help on this spin out. Yeah, he got a little bit of help. Some contact from, I think that was Billy Penfold.
Yeah, the 28 car might have gotten him from behind. And you don't see anybody behind Ted Christopher because there's no one back there for quite a ways. The closest competitor, Kim Baker. But now they'll close up because we are being told full course yellow. Full course yellow coming out for the 8th time today. Here on lap number 52, we are just 10 laps away from the conclusion. And folks, we promise you coming up next, USGA Women's Amateur Championship. That's golf, the final round, coming up in less now than 10 laps here at Watkins Glen. Full course yellow coming out for that car number 05. It's sitting there very precariously just at the exit to the inner loop.
It's not a very safe spot. As other cars come through there, lose brakes or something, they can plow directly in the back of this car running 150 miles per hour. So that's had no choice except throw out the caution flag. And Teasdale, Catherine Teasdale, the 94 car, is having some kind of problem. She does have reverse, and the NASCAR official or the course workers ask her to please pull behind the guardrail. She'll be out of the way, and that way we'll be able to have more green flag racing, or more quickly have green flag racing.
And the wreckers have been deployed. We were told that Cat Teasdale a moment ago had a problem with fluid leaking from her rear end. She was on pit road and had the car jacked up. So now they're trying the 05, trying to get the wrecker to give me a boost so I can get going again. Says, come on, give me a shove. And now the wreckers are there to give him a little bit of a boost so they can get the car refired. We're talking about Glenn Brio, former short track ace, ran the Monadnock Speedway in pro stocks and late models up in Keene, New Hampshire for a number of years. Running the full Busch North Series for 1997. His best finish 11th at Stafford Motor Speedway 3 weeks ago. Well under caution for the 8th time. The 8th full course caution coming out on lap number 52. So we'll come back with more, hopefully the final laps, in just a moment.
I get my license next month. When I was a kid, I figured that there was no way that thing was going to be around when I turned 16. I wanted it to die so bad. It broke down a couple times, and I was like, yes! But Dad would go to Napa, get whatever 1970s parts he needed, and boom, that leisure suit on wheels would be back on the road again. He made me a deal last week.
Get straight A's, and you can drive your mom's car.
Thanks, Napa. Somebody make it stop.
Buy 4 Sensatrack shocks or struts with your Napa card and get a $40 mail-in rebate.
Suzuki Katana riders have a single-minded focus. They love all things twisty. The tighter the curve, the better. In fact, sometimes they take this obsession a little too far.
3 root beers, please.
You guys want straws with those?
No, thanks. We got our own.
The Suzuki Katana. Get off the straight and narrow.
Back at Watkins Glen International, Jerry Punch here along with Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, and Kyle Petty bringing you live Busch North action, NASCAR Busch North Series action from Watkins Glen. Coming up next, we are waiting for the final round. That's coming up in about 9 laps. The USGA Amateur Championships final round. That's coming up next. Later today, 6 o'clock Eastern time, we'll have happy hour from right here at Watkins Glen. Our field summary. And how about old Dave Dion? He has been able to move back toward the top 15, back in 14th spot.
Back in 14th spot. And Jeff Berry in 22, remember he ran so well earlier, had to get out and be relieved by Tom Carey. He's back up in 15th spot. 16 through 30. Kelly Moore all the way back to 16th from second spot after that spin down in turn 1. And Gordon having to stop to have the metal taken out from under the rear of his car, back in 17th, all the other cars. And there was 8 more cars started to sing, all of them out except Scott DeWare, who's back in 33rd, 26 laps down.
So just 17 cars left on the lead lap.
So there is still one more lap of caution flag before we can see the green flag racing.
All right, Major League Soccer coming your way tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. The New England Revolution taking on the Colorado Rapids. New England led by goaltender Walter Zinga, a top goalie in the league. That's the Revolution and the Rapids coming your way. Major League Soccer tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
Yeah, let's try Christopher now that he's on the front stretch, see if he can talk to us. Ted Christopher, this is Benny Parsons. Do you read me now? Oh, you're waving to us. Talk to us.
I don't really want to talk too much.
How come?
Trying to concentrate here.
Yeah, you got to focus because there's only about 9 laps to go, 8 laps to go, and you get to green. But it doesn't look like any of those guys can catch you, Ted.
The heck is talking? I can't hear anybody.
Well, okay.
Benny Parsons. Oh, what did he say?
Anyway, don't worry about it, Ted. Just focus, man.
Play nobody.
All right, fortunately, the car running a lot better than the radios today. So Ted Christopher and the Les Scare Kitchens machine. Word is it, Benny, Ted is going to go next year down and run for Rookie of the Year in the Busch Grand National Division South. He told me in 1998 they're hoping to do that. And he told me that in a couple of weeks, you'll be back here and we'll have it on ESPN. He is going to drive a NASCAR Craftsman Super Truck for Kurt Rory here at Watkins Glen.
So he's one of the tryout guys. You know, Kurt Roy is in the Dana truck. He's having some tryouts. He's had Tom Hubert in his truck. Michael Dockin this year has driven the truck. Kevin Zawinski drove the truck up at IRP. So now Ted Christopher will drive the truck at Watkins Glen.
And you know, if Christopher hangs on today, he will have finished 3rd last month in the Final Lot Modified car, and he will have won today. And so certainly not a bad guy to put in your truck if you're coming to Watkins Glen.
Bringing pretty good credentials to the table. Coming up next, Women's Golf Championship, Amateur Championship. As soon as we're finished with this, and I think about 8 laps, more of green flag racing, and we will have this thing complete. The Burnham Boilers 150th, 150 miles. Cars going down through the inner loop.
All right, these shots coming you from the fine folks at Pennzoil. Our Pennzoil copter cam high above. That's the back straightaway. And the inner loop was placed in 1992. You see where they go up the backstretch and they go down. That's called the True Value inner loop. There we show you the helicopters giving us those great shots high overhead. The Pennzoil colors, bright yellow and red and black.
The racetrack used to go straight down into turn 9, but they found they were reaching speeds of 170 miles per hour down in this area. So NASCAR said, look, we need to try to slow the cars down. So they go back about a couple hundred yards and put in the inner loop, and that gets the cars slowed down probably 20, 30 miles per hour before they get to that spot back there. They used to go in just barreling in there. That's where Tommy Kendall banged up his legs. J.D. McDuffie went in there. So they wisely decided they would slow the cars down some before they get. There's turn. Now it's turn 9. Used to be turn 5. Entering that baby at about 170 miles per hour before. Now they enter the inner loop at probably 150, 60 miles per hour.
And there's our camera. There's a camera platform. There's where Chuck is. A wave to us, Chuck, up there at the end of the backstretch. There is Chuck giving us a big wave. Chuck Mills back there at the end of the backstretch coming out of the inner loop.
Oh, yes.
And let's take a look at Chuck's shot. There is the shot that Chuck gives us coming out of the inner loop. Some of that great action off Chuck Mills' camera. All right, getting set for the restart. 8 caution flags for 25 laps. Getting set for the restart. Ted Christopher trying to hold on for Busch North career victory number 2. Restart lap 56. Just 6 laps remain.
And Christopher making sure that Kim Baker does not get on the inside of him. He moves over, blocks that move, and gets down in turn 1 in front of Baker. Martin Truex, 56 car, the white car is in 3rd, and the Santerre is in 4th. Brad Layton.
Got a 4-car length leader. Even bigger now. You're moving away. Good job, Ted.
The audio from the cars as it accelerated down this backstretch. He was slow in the inner loop.
Line, Teddy. Good line. This is your race, buddy.
So 7, Bobby Dragon just a moment ago picked up a position in the inner loop. Trying to get another one now, and he closes in on the back bumper of Paul Spencer. That's 9th spot. Right now we can't put Dragon in the 10th spot.
Great racing all around this 2.45-mile road course here in the final 7 laps. Dragon once again looking for position at turn 10 inside of Spencer.
And Spencer runs him over, smokes that time. And Dragon looks like he has position. He does as they race down to turn 1.
Run by Bobby Dragon. Good run by Paul Spencer. And now Dragon has caught on the inside. Wow. The 86 car of Dennis DeMoore, a rookie driver from Shelburne, Vermont, just came flying into turn 1.
Wow. And Dave Dion picks up a couple more spots. Man, oh man, Bobby Dragon got nailed from the side.
Boy, all the way down to turn 1. Dragon had just made a great move to take the position away at 9th. And here's what happened as the rookie came into turn 1 on his inside.
Once again, that's a blue car, Dennis DeMoore. And watch this as he comes down and passes both cars. And boom! Watch that car go up off all 4 tires off the ground. And the car's going straight through the sand. They slowed down enough that when they got to the barrier, they were slowed down enough to be able to drive the car.
Now from our Pennzoil copter cam high overhead, watch the right side of your screen. DeMoore's on the inside. Boom!
Wow. Paul Spencer said, wow.
See the styrofoam in the backside of the kitty litter box there, the gravel and sand pit there where they slow the cars down? That's a safety barrier they put up at Watkins Glen. And Dave Dion is
strapped to the engine. You look good, Ted.
in 10th position.
That'll see the lead that he has over Kim Baker, Mark Truex, Andy Santerre.
Brad Layton being shown back in 5th.
Eddie, he is not catching you. Nice line.
He smoked out of the back of the 44 car, but it's no worse than it was, so. Mark Truex in 3rd spot, sponsored by Blount's Seafood. He told me that he has some fishing boats. Oh, let me see, Brad Bennett, I'm sorry.
Still under power. They have a local caution there, the local waving caution up in the inner loop, but no full course yellow. As the laps are clicking down, now Brad Bennett trying to get the Auto Palace car refired as Christopher continues to lead the car number 10 of Kim Baker by about 5 car lengths.
There's a battle for a position as Mike Olson takes his spot away from the 50 car. That 50 is Brad Rubinek. John Preston not far behind.
That is 6th, 7th, and 8th you're looking at there. Olson, Rubinek in 6th and 7th. And the car number 6 has not gotten fired as here come the leaders, Ted Christopher.
Outside. Good job.
And still the local waving yellow there up in the inner loop. With now 4 laps to go. Christopher, Baker, Truex, Santerre, and Layton, the top 5.
Oh, Layton off on the dirt. Just goes straight through the dirt. No damage, no, doesn't appear to be.
Dave Dion back in 11th spot. You saw a moment ago, Kelly Moore has gotten by Dion. Moore dropped all the way back to 17th after being tagged on the restart. Note the field summary where your favorite driver is running, because as soon as the checkered flag waves, you're going to need to scoot out to golf. And you'll be able to see results and hear interviews on RPM. And, of course, on the rear of our Burnham Boilers 150. But we're going to go quickly out to golf for the final round of the World Women's Amateur Championship, USGA Golf, coming up in less than 3 laps.
Wow. And the green flag is out at the start-finish line in that record center. That is really something. There's a battle.
That was Ted Christopher going by the lap car, the 05 machine. Yes. Glenn Brio.
Brio's got some pretty heavy smoke around the right rear with a right rear fender in front of the right rear tire. Kim Baker goes by. That black car, the dark car, is the 2nd place car. Mark Truex is going to catch Brio. And the caution flag is out.
And they will put out the caution as a full course yellow. And Vinny, as you said, that wrecker back there in a very precarious position across the racetrack, trying to get the car number 6 refired.
And let me tell you this, that under Busch, NASCAR, Busch North Route, the race will not end on the caution flag.
They will have a green, white, and checkered. So if you were concerned about fuel mileage, you may be a little more concerned because you'll have to run a couple extra laps. So caution on the racetrack for the 9th time, coming out on lap number 60. Don't forget, USGA Women's Amateur Championship Golf coming up next in just a couple of laps. Back with the final couple laps here in just a moment.
TikTok Jewelers, for the special times in your life. TikTok Jewelers, 185 Bank Street, Burlington, for the special times in your life.
It's Page Time's Gone Bananas sale. Act now and get a high-quality Motorola Renegade pager at an appealing price of only $14.95. And shipping is free. Get the messages you need and a savings of over $20. But hurry, this offer is good only while supplies last. Call Page Time today at 1-800-870-2220 for a little more freedom and a lot more peace of mind. Page Time's Gone Bananas sale. Don't let this opportunity slip away.
Our Speed World coverage of the NASCAR Busch Grand National North Series Burnham Boilers 150 from Watkins Glen International Raceway is being brought to you by Valvoline Durablend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil. By Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. And by Firestone and your neighborhood Firestone retailers with over 1,500 locations. All right, we're going to have a shootout here these last couple laps. As Benny told you, these races that Busch North rules don't allow them to end under caution. They will have a green, white, and checkered. And the concern might be now in the pits, those that calculated their fuel mileage based on 62 total laps may get a little bit concerned.
Could be a problem. Ted Christopher, the leader, stopped on lap 22. He was figured on running 40 laps, felt like he could do that. Now he may have to run 41 or 42. What will that mean as far as does he have enough fuel to finish? Some of these cars, no doubt, will run out of gasoline.
Okay, here's how they're running. Christopher, Baker, Truex, Santerre, and Layton, the top 5. You see Olson, Rubinek, Preston, Spencer.
Good job, Teddy. Give your fans a wave over here. They're cheering for you.
Dave Dion up to 10th spot now. He's the current point leader. Kelly Moore back up to 11th. You see there are
This
just
doesn't do like it did to Kelly.
17 cars.
You're the boss. Don't worry.
On the lead lap. Warning Ted Christopher about what happened on the restart a moment ago between Kim Baker and Kelly Moore. That in turn 1, as you see the field summary of the cars that are out of the race, are running some 26 laps down. Let's check in the Christopher pit with Kyle Petty.
Well, talking to Ted Marks, the crew chief for Ted Christopher, you know, they pitted on lap 20. There was a gamble. They did the early pit window. Let's put them up front, just like the strategy was supposed to play out. I asked him, I said, can you guys go the rest of the way if they run a few extra laps? And he said, definitely, maybe. They're a little bit concerned down here. They're not so sure they can go if they run much over 62 laps. So they've all got their fingers crossed.
I don't think a lot of them are going to have their fingers crossed because that really is, the next time by will be 62 laps. And if they throw the green, they still have 2 laps to go.
Hey, Benny, the guy in second place, Kim Baker, was leading here last year in the SCCA World Sports Car Challenge and ran out of gas with a half a lap to go, leading the race. There's a 28 car, just kept coming in the top off. He was being shown back in the 14th position. And Bill Weber, how about Andy Santerre?
Won here a year ago, Jerry, as you know, and they feel they can reach the finish even if we had to go an extra lap or 2. But what's really hurting them are these cautions. They're extremely quick, but it takes the car a little while for the tires and the setup to kick in. So the longer the green flag session, the better that car is. And they still believe they might have something, but now they're literally running out of laps.
All right, we're going to restart it on lap 62, which would have been the conclusion of this event, but the rules preclude that from happening. These races cannot end under caution, so they will come down for the green flag here momentarily. There's Andy Santerre. The word is that he had signed an agreement with Mike Laughlin to come drive for Mike next year. They were hunting for a sponsor in Busch South, and Mike's sponsor deal didn't exactly work out, I'm told, and now I'm told Team 34, the Frank Cece, Scott Welliver, John Gittler operation, would like to have Andy Santerre come down and possibly drive or replace Todd Bodine, who is making a move back in the Winston Cup with a Pontiac sponsored by Tabasco. Later today, coming up, qualifying for the Miller 200, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That's PPG kart coverage coming up at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, Kart on the Grid, live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And then the Miller 200, live at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC Sports. So our PPG kart coverage continues later today with qualifying. And, of course, that race tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Car just reached the inner loop. So they're about a third of a lap from the green flag.
Okay, Teddy, it's all you, baby.
It's all you, driver. Don't miss any shifts. Don't
Positive, have fun. Take it around, baby.
Don't get any wheel hop going down in the corner. Don't let anyone pass you. Real simple. Car slowly going around this racetrack about 35 miles per hour.
Has to be going through Ted Christopher's mind right now what happened on the previous restart when Kim Baker got together with Kelly Moore as they were going for the spot, which was actually second position entering turn 1. So I'm sure Christopher would like to be able to get a little bit of a jump and have some cushion going down into 1.
On the shifter, no mistake there. Easy on the shifter, no mistake.
And the Santerra's crew chief radioing instructions to his driver.
That's Dave McMaster of Butler and McMaster Engine Builders up here in the Northeast.
We saw Stub Baden on the very first lap pull off the track. Well, he's been, back on pit road a few times. But I'm happy to note that Stub is now running in 25th spot, only 11 laps down. So he
all right, let's get focused. You're the boss.
Persevered and picked up 13 spots.
And we're just a few minutes away from golf. We got a great shootout going on here. We're going to go to golf for their final round. Coming up next, USGA Women's Amateur Championships.
Christopher trying to clean his tires of the debris. And he nails the gas, trying to drop it. He's sent there. He's caught napping.
Carlin, looking good.
Lap 62. The question is, can Christopher hold him off? And another question, do they have enough fuel to go the rest of the way?
White flag, next time by.
Kim Baker, SCCA.
About a 5-car length lead. Good job, Ted.
Spotter complimenting Ted Christopher on that great restart. And he's pulled away by about 12 to 15 car lengths.
There are the first 3 cars, nose to tail. The interlude. Say nose to tail, there's probably...
Good job, Teddy. No pressure from behind. 5 or 6 car lengths. Your race. Come on, baby.
Well, he still has gasoline because the engine's still turning RPMs. One reason they get the fuel mileage is so good, 390 carburetors, 9-to-1 compression.
Well, he's just about 3 miles away.
Good job. Good job. No pressure.
On the checkered flag, you'll come under the bridge at turn 11 and get the white flag.
Teddy, this is it. White flag. Let's do it. Focus. We can do it.
There's the crew.
One more.
Come on, bring it home safe. Teddy, I've got a real slow car going down the back stretch, so watch the inside when you get going down the back stretch.
There's the car 71 slowing in the backstretch. That's Rick Bell. And here comes the leader, Christopher, on the final lap of the Burnham Boilers 150.
Nice job, Teddy. Nice job.
See Rick Bell, the slow car this water was talking about.
Good job. That slow car is right ahead of you, Teddy. Slow car right ahead of you. Take it to the line, baby.
Gets out of the way so all the cars can go by. As you can tell, there's spotters all around the racetrack. They don't have one spotter here at this racetrack.
No pressure, nice and smooth.
They have 2 or 3 spotters based all the way around the racetrack.
Good job, nice and smooth.
And I think you can go from here, Gary.
Checkered flag raised, and the Burnham Boilers 150 with history. Ted Christopher, 38 years of age, has picked up his second career NASCAR Busch Grand National North Series victory in the Les Care Kitchen Chevrolet.
Hey, Teddy, I'm running now.
Our coverage here at Watkins Glen. Now let's go to USGA Women's Amateur Championship Golf. The final round. There are the unofficial results from here at Watkins Glen. Now, let's go to golf.
The following is a special presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.